2017 calendar year sales.
You dread the sound of your cell phone buzzing with unknown caller. It's probably your mortgage company calling about your overdue payments again. Maybe you found yourself in a difficult financial situation due to hardship, and now it seems like your world is falling apart. Your home is on its way to foreclosure.
Foreclosure is not your only option. I'm Angela Sikors Epstein of ATC Mitigation Services. We're a company that specializes in short sales, a way to satisfy your loan with the bank and avoid foreclosure. Although other real estate professionals can handle short sales, they just don't have the experience and knowledge of the process like our mitigation company. We'll work with your mortgage lender to get their approval for a short sale. You can even list your property through a preferred realtor.
A short sale can help you avoid the pain and hassle of foreclosure and will stop those dreaded phone calls. Call ATC Mitigation at 630-517-8510 and hear about the benefits of a short sale. If you're on the verge of losing your home, call today or go to easyshortsales.org. Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation, and it's free. Make plans now to attend the 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. Ask about the kids auction, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd at the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. Get more information at ilnaclub.org.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed one sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
You know, 67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are one in itself, I know.
Great. I'll take one turkey tom, please.
Freak yeah, one turkey tom, on the way.
Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah!
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith and magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. More company picnics, less time planning. TastyCatering.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
If it hadn't been for Joe Cotton Ford, I'd still be driving a beautiful car. Now we go live to Dan and Amy broadcasting from Joe Cotton Ford.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. We're kicking off our ticket sales for Freedom Summit 2018. And there's the only one way to do it. That's to have our producer, Justin Kosek, murder a song.
Well, we're at Joe Cotton Ford.
Yeah.
So, and
I got what he's doing.
No, we're here at the corner of Gary and North Avenue, and we're kicking off our ticket sales for Freedom Summit 2018. which Joe Cotton Ford is a proud sponsor. Freedom Summit is coming up on Saturday, October 27th. Write this down at the Chicago Westin Northwest and Itasca. This year's speakers include Dan Proft. No, you are speaking, aren't you? Yeah.
We're still negotiating my fee, but I expect to be there.
Former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, as well as AM 560's Mike Gallagher. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com to get the tickets. Now, this event sold out in less than 3 weeks last year, so you're going to want to move on that. Or if you are in the area, listen up. You can stop by Joe Cotton Ford this morning, enter to win a pair of tickets, say hi to us here, say hi to Dan Proft, take some pictures with him. And you can enjoy a free cup of coffee from I Have a Bean Coffee Roasters and enter a chance to win tickets to Freedom Summit 2018. Again, we're at the corner of Gary and North Avenue in beautiful Carroll Stream.
I Have a Bean. We're going to talk to the proprietor at the bottom of this hour out of Wheaton.
Oh, God's country. Pleasantville.
And I'll tell you, for the last hour, I've been having their uncut Colombian coffee.
It's some real stuff.
That's good stuff.
It's a little too harsh for me right now.
No, that's good. And I've also learned that the birthplace of coffee, you know where the birthplace of coffee is?
The birthplace of coffee?
Birthplace of coffee.
Colombia or Venezuela.
Wrong.
Where?
You're such a child.
Wait,
Ethiopia.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that either. Until I was told this morning.
Wrong continent.
How about that? No, it's sort of interesting. All right. Also interesting, this story that we talked about last week when Amy was glamping in the Black Hills. Krista McQuarrie, who's also a mom.
Yes.
Also has human children as compared to my fictional children. So we had a good discussion about that in terms of parenting. This story out of Wilmette, Corey Wyden and her daughter Dorothy and their dog Marshmallow.
Oh, Marshmallow.
Really cute kid, really cute dog. Wilmette, Tony Wilmette.
Yes.
A homeschooling family.
Right.
Miss Wyden homeschools her kids. So she's somewhat attentive to their needs, I would say, since she's educating them at home. Allows the 8-year-old, Dorothy, to take the dog, Marshmallow, out for a walk around the block where she can see her daughter the whole time through
the window.
Right. Yeah. And this prompts an anonymous call to the police from some busybody in Wilmette, which sparks a DCFS investigation because police have a requirement to report to DCFS. Then she gets contacted by DCFS and becomes a whole ordeal. But perhaps it's the best thing that ever happened because it's a teachable moment for busybody neighbors. And the thing that upsets me most about this story is that the person who called has not been identified. Because you want to talk about virtue signaling? You want to talk about shaming? I want to know
who that person is,
who placed the call, and I want her to account for herself.
Well, all we know about the 911 call was that she thought the girl was 5 years and younger. That's why she was concerned. No, she's an 8-year-old girl, and it is none of your business. If you let you teach your kids to walk a dog, that teaches them responsibility and self-sufficiency. When we got Bunky, Eli was 9 years old, and I let him walk around the neighborhood walking the dog because he was with a dog and he was close to the house.
All right. Yeah, Justin, make the call. Make the call. Let's open this thing up.
Huh?
All right.
Isn't the statute of limitations?
I don't know. How old is he? How old is Eli
He's
now?
12. No, 13. I don't know.
All right. Take that part two where she doesn't know his age. We're going to enter that into evidence.
I'm sorry. But she even said she was on Good Morning America, the mom was, and Marshmallow was sitting on her lap, very, very obedient dog.
With Dorothy, her daughter, she was on.
Right, yeah. With Dorothy, the mom, the dog. And she said that she moved to Wilmette because it is a safe neighborhood, because the crime statistics are low.
Here's Corey Wyden and Dorothy clicking her heels on GMA.
What do you say to people who say, hey, 8 years old is too young to walk a dog by herself on a neighborhood street?
I would say every 8-year-old is different. Every neighborhood is different. Every parent is different. So you can't make an overall judgment like that.
That's the kind of common sense that's sorely lacking in civilized society such as it is. To your point, she described the neighborhood on the North Shore of Chicago for those non-Illinois and Chicago Metro denizens on GMA.
Talk a little bit about where you live, your neighborhood, and why you felt it was safe for Dorothy to walk Marshmallow.
We live in a beautiful neighborhood. We're very fortunate. We live on the North Shore of Chicago, Wilmette, Illinois. It's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful. We're very lucky. We stretch and sacrifice to be there, but that's why, because it's safe.
Yeah. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We'll take your calls on the pending investigation by DCFS into Amy or this matter in Wilmette, and whether or not you think, because, to me, there's not much argument to be had or discussion to be had about Miss Wyden and her daughter Dorothy and the dog and what happened, but whether somebody who makes that sort of anonymous call, should they be outed? Because remember, per that call, she's wasting public resources. She's wasting your resources, both police resources as well as DCFS resources.
And there are children that are legitimately being abused that DCFS could be investigating.
Like
instead
Peyton
of
and Eli.
No. Instead of this, girl walking her dog. We have kids in my neighborhood who are under 5 who are out all the time with a sibling or a friend by themselves. And I would never call the police on my neighbors for that, because that's what we did as kids.
You have 5-year-olds wandering around Lakeview? By themselves?
Just on Marshfield. Yeah, when they've got older siblings who are 8 and 9. One of them's,
I tell you what. I mean, that whole Lakeview neighborhood needs to be shut down.
Here we go. But it's hard because being investigated by DCFS it's an arduous week, because they are there and they question everything that you do. Because you have to open the door to let them in, and then they look at everything. Your house better be very clean. There better not be any alcohol in the house. There better not be, family pictures everywhere. It's this whole rigmarole that people have to go through. I've had friends who their child fell down the stairs, broke a leg. You take that child to the emergency room, DCFS has to be notified. Even if it was a sport, sometimes if it's a sporting event where they broke their hand, if they're suspicious at all, they'll send DCFS. My neighbor's daughter got bit by a dog, their own dog in their house. DCFS came and investigated for a week.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, and by the way, there's something to be discussed as to DCFS's record in this space, too. There's been many an expose on DCFS's performance, similar to the performance of most government agencies in Illinois. Michael in Oak Forest, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
But it takes a village, Dan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about Hillary's new book?
Is this you just called in so you could tell me this joke?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I appreciate your candor. All right.
It takes a town to watch my husband.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. I was hoping it'd be a dog joke. Looking for dog jokes if you're going to call in with jokes.
Well, hypothetically, how old are your kids?
They're 8 and 11.
Okay, so would you let your 8-year-old walk Hayek?
Well, my 8-year-old, yes, because as Corey Wyden said, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. Obviously, my kids are precocious.
Okay.
The 11-year-old is applying to college right now.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
already
early
in the
admission
honors program,
yeah.
the IB program at certain high schools.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Early admission. Sure. But, yeah, of course. I mean, and this little girl.
Oh, she's adorable.
And Corey Wyden said exactly what you said, which is one of the reasons she allowed the kid to walk the dog is because she wants her to be a little bit more independent, and this is a way of giving her responsibility. So she was right in line with what you said.
I even told him, if you want a dog, you're going to have to walk the dog. And I didn't think about their age. I thought about the responsibility, because that's what. If it's a group project to have a dog. Shouldn't rely on just one person, which always seems to be the mom. So you let the kids walk the dog.
Unless you get a precocious dog like my dog Hayek, who's very independent.
Right. Oh, he walks himself, does he? He knows when it's time to go out.
Takes care of his business. I walked in this morning, and he's on the toilet reading my edition of Golf Magazine. I'm like, good dog. Give him a treat.
Good Hayek.
Yeah,
and then fine dining and
very civilized.
And high tea at 4.
Me and Hayek. A related story in terms of children, and now this is in the education space, but it's sort of a similar cultural problem. This comes to us from North Carolina, a charter school there. Tamarion. 10-year-old North Carolina.
Sounds good, Tamarion.
Well, it's got the I in there, so it's like Tamaron, but it's the Tamarion. 10-year-old North Carolina boy got in trouble at his prep school, Tarboro Prep School, after he had the audacity to refer to his teacher as ma'am.
What's wrong? That is proper way to address anybody over 21. Ma'am, you say ma'am.
That's what his mom, Teresa Wilson, said. I asked him what happened. He said he got in trouble for saying yes, ma'am.
What was he supposed to call her? By her name?
I've got some words. The first, his punishment, and they posted online, he had to write the word ma'am on the front and back side of a piece of loose leaf paper.
Oh, my gosh.
Why did he call her ma'am? Because it's the polite thing to do. I don't know. It's sort of Occam's razor type explanation. His parents had always taught him to treat his elders with the utmost respect. And so this is why he addressed his teacher that way. His teacher also was claimed that his teacher said she wanted to throw something at him after he referred to her as ma'am. The teacher then said in a meeting with mom, in this case, she had just been joking about throwing something.
Oh, okay.
Hilarious. If it happened to my son, I'm pretty sure, if not a week, a day, a month, a year, it will occur to somebody else's child, said the boy's father, MacArthur Bryant. Mom said it wasn't right, it wasn't professional. As a teacher, it wasn't appropriate, and I asked her why she thought it was okay to do that, to threaten the kid, and also to make a federal case about his saying, yes, ma'am. What about that? Yes, ma'am? Do you find that offensive?
I don't find that offensive at all.
I guess
that's what we're told. Instead of saying, yo, hey, you, over there's.
Teach.
I mean, hey, hottie, hey.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you?
I guess
it's so ridiculous.
It's not supposed to be
did
sweat
she
hogs,
want
right?
to be called by her first name, Mrs. or Mrs., whatever her last name is?
Well, perhaps, and this is why we have that consent decree pending with the Chicago Police Department. Perhaps the 10-year-old boy made the fatal error of not asking what gender pronoun she preferred before addressing the teacher. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. I assume this is going to, there's no explanation that's been reported as to why the teacher was upset with yes, ma'am. I'm going to guess, though, in the culture in which we live, where gender is an opinion, that it has something to do with gender specificity.
We do know the teacher's been there for 2 years, and that last year she was hospitalized for a seizure-related activity, which included memory loss and hallucinations.
Yeah, no. That's not her. That's the kid.
The kid was.
She didn't know that. The teacher didn't know that he had a medical condition. But
ma'am is not. That's, you don't have to have a medical condition to say ma'am. That's just common courtesy.
No, the fact that this is a controversy is sort of illuminating about the state of the culture. Steve and Wheeling, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Steve. Steve and Wheeling. Steve.
I hear him, but I don't hear him.
It's a metaphysical brain teaser. Thanks for that. Donna on the south side. Donna.
Hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't catch you. I was just wanted to comment about the woman who made the accusation about the young child walking her dog, which I agree with you. It's called responsibility, and it's not a big deal. I guess now if they play in their backyard, that could be a prison sentence. Don't we have the right to know who our accuser is? I mean, how can you respond to anything if anyone can accuse you of anything they think is inappropriate? You have no defense, and it's nobody's business what goes on in someone's home.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I mean, you can, the whole see something, say something, insert, use common sense before you say something. How about that? This lives of other culture that Don is referring to, kind of East German style, I find troubling. And this is just one or a couple examples of it. I mean, obviously the Wilmette example. I've got a personal example. Somebody in my on my floor, where my well-appointed condo is located downtown.
I thought you owned the whole floor, but that's all right. I'm sure you have to share sometimes.
Well, that could be coming, but it runs against my admonition: do not buy property in Illinois unless you're mad at your money. So I got a Post-it note on my door.
Oh no!
Saying, "My dog Hayek," and that enough. I don't even need to say anymore. But that he barks every time the elevator, comes, opens on the floor. That's not Hayek. He doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's a lie. It's false.
And they wanted you to what? Put a muzzle on him or take his vocal cords out? What?
She just said the note, anonymous, said, "Control your dog." I think I know who it is.
Uh-oh. We're at war.
And it's game on.
At LPT.
I get off the elevator all the time because, that's how I get to my floor.
And does Hayek
Never
bark?
barks. Never barks. It's a lie.
Really?
Total lie.
Okay.
I mean, maybe barks if the woman's coming up to my door to put a Post-it note on.
Right.
Because he's securing the castle. That is Hayek. But
so
short of that.
when you get off the elevator, you never hear Hayek bark?
No. And also, I'm home sometimes with Hayek. And occasionally I hear the elevator, somebody coming down the hallway, and he doesn't bark. So, no, number one, bearing false witness against my dog is a violation of the commandments.
Number one, yes.
Number two, you don't put Post-it notes on my door.
You come and talk to you. Yeah.
And number three, you don't do it anonymously. But this is this kind of anonymous, secret lives of others, call the, call the building management, complain nonsense.
Yeah, or call 911 on your neighbor because you think she's too young to be walking a dog. People insert themselves all the time.
Exactly.
They're going to let things roll.
Yeah. Having a handwriting analyst confirm who I suspicious the person is, and then we're going to take it from there. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carol Stream.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Your NIU Huskies take on the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Catch every minute of the action right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs and get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido, a Chicago anesthesia and pain specialist, will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through August 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Come in today and take advantage of first month's payment credit and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. There are those who settle for nothing less. For them, the choice is simple. It's either up to Mercedes-Benz standards or it isn't. It's flawlessly maintained or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on first month's payment credit and certified pre-owned warranties.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Walking through a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, they began to wait.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream. And coming up at 6:36, we're going to talk to our friends at I Have a Bean.
I'll get it. I have a dream. I have a bean.
And it's perfect timing. The 55th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech is tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to talk to them at 6:36. They're providing complimentary coffee at Joe Cotton Ford if you want to come down and enjoy a cup of uncut Colombian or originalist Ethiopian coffee.
That's true. And you can enter for a chance to win 2 free tickets to our upcoming Freedom Summit Chicago. It is happening Saturday, October 27th. At the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca. This year's speakers include former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, as well as AM 560's Mike Gallagher. We want you to join us. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. The event always sells out, so buy your tickets now. And again, if you're in the area, just stop on by, say hi to Dan and Amy. We're at the corner of Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream. Right now, though, let's go into the newsroom and say hello once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 79 degrees, sweltering heat slams Chicago again today with a heat index that will soar over 105, and a heat advisory goes into effect at 11 a.m. The late Senator John McCain will lie in state at the Arizona Capitol in Phoenix and then in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda in Washington later this week. McCain died Saturday at the age of 81. One of the senator's most senior advisors says he was remembered as a giant in the Senate and as a normal guy.
He was great and grand, but he was also funny and salty and normal.
Nicole Wallace worked on the McCain 2008 presidential campaign. Former Secretary of State John Kerry says he and John McCain sparred many times in the Senate, but normally found some common ground.
You work to implement our democracy by reaching out across the aisle, by building relationships, by believing in the better angels of American value system.
Kerry spoke highly of McCain on CBS's Face the Nation. Florida Governor Rick Scott in Jacksonville following yesterday's shooting in that city. Scott traveled from Naples last night, telling reporters those in his state's first reaction to the incident will be to talk about guns, but the governor says he's most concerned that young men are not valuing life. People on Hawaii's Big Island breathing a sigh of relief this morning that Hurricane Lane did not make a direct hit. The weather system, now a tropical storm, is still pouring rain on the area. More than 4 feet has fallen. 2 men are wounded following a shootout on the Dan Ryan this morning. State police say the victims were shot after gunfire erupted early this morning in the southbound express lanes near Garfield. Investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire that killed 8 children during a sleepover in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. And candidate for mayor Willie Wilson still giving away cash. The businessman handed out thousands of dollars during a service yesterday at a Baptist church. on the city's south side. Chicago sports, Michael Kopech notched his first career win. So White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2 in Detroit. Cubs beat the Reds 9-0 at Wrigley Field. The news, a service of E-Verify. Choose E-Verify, the enhanced employment eligibility verification tool. It can confidently confirm work eligibility. They've got a new look, and the process has never been better. Check it out and get started at everify.gov/go. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains our free press.
Happily, I live in a country which has free speech, free press. Government does not control newspapers, so you get truth. And over the course of my lifetime, and never more than at this very moment, do you realize how they are coordinated ideologically. And it is a brainwash.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Home Builders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation. And they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Home Builders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:35. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And in for Jim, here's Dominic.
That morning ride slowing down across the Chicago area this morning. Inbound Eden's 23 in from Lake Cook, 21 on the outbound ride. Inbound Kennedy on the brakes off the O'Hare extension. And then again, Kimball, 34 in from O'Hare, 16 in from the junction. A better bet in those inbound express lanes at 14 minutes. Outbound delays from Fullerton through the O'Hare extension. 14 minutes downtown to Montrose, already 40 out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, 48 minutes in from Thorndale. Northbound side of I-55 got a crash blocking the left lane at Lamont. That's backing things up to Weber. Also having some struggles on the outbound Ryan. The express lane still closed, 43rd to Garfield, as police investigate an earlier shooting at Gapers. Delays there. Stay in the locals. It's a better bet. Inbound side also slowing to take a peek. Delays adding up to 26 minutes, 95th in a downtown. Both directions of Lakeshore Drive struggling along between Belmont and North Avenue. Got ongoing road construction in that area. That's going to hamper traffic for about a month or so. Traffic's a service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th, get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only. Valid for kids 12 and under, ordering from the kids menu. Participating in Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers we need the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, partly sunny, breezy, hot and humid, high of 92, and a heat advisory goes into effect between 10 and 11 this morning. Patchy clouds, very warm and humid, low 76 overnight. Currently 79 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Just drank a cup of coffee and I didn't really need it, but I know I gotta have it and I know I gotta feed it. I got coffee in the morning, I got coffee in the night. When I drink
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford in scenic Carroll Stream, Illinois.
Yeah, and people should stop by and say hi. We're at
North Avenue, Gary.
And Carroll Stream.
Yeah, welcome to DuPage County.
Oh, yeah, God's land, right? And we have free coffee, we have free donuts, and you can register for a chance to win 2 free tickets to Freedom Summit 2018, which is going to take place October 27th at Weston and Itasca.
There you go. Same place we've had the Freedom Fest Summit.
Air breathing.
Yeah, thing. Last couple days.
Free oxygen, yeah. That's included.
The coffee proprietor that's helping us kick off ticket sales today to Freedom Summit. I Have a Bean in lovely Wheaton.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Who knew Wheaton was the roasting capital of DuPage County?
That's correct. It is. And getting an education in coffee this morning, too. I mean, forget Starbucks. Even Dunkin' Donuts, which I love. This is
the real
deal. Pretty good. We're pleased to be joined by Pete Leonard, who is the founder of I Have a Bean in Wheaton. Pete, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. So give us the backstory on I Have a Bean, and you have a bean of Colombian coffee and Ethiopian coffee.
Yeah, you called it
happily together.
Uncut Colombian this morning. It's all single origin coffee. Started the business about 10 years ago. We roast coffee in Wheaton. It's rated in the top 1%. Wheaton.
You got to say it like
that. But you invented a
Did-
roaster in Wheaton, the Bean Master 5000.
You're exactly right. I did invent the machine, designed it, built it, and it is the Bean Master 5000.
Wasn't that one of the robots at Mystery Science Theater 3000?
It might have been.
So how do you roast your coffee differently than, say, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts with your new Bean Master 5000?
That's great. Starbucks roasts 24/7, 365. It's almost conveyor belt roasting. We do small batch roasting, and by small batch, I mean 7.2 pounds of coffee at a time in a fluid airbed roaster. So it's not gas-fired, all that stuff. So it's a green roaster.
It sounds like the coffee beans are treated very well.
It is it's treated very, it's coddled, actually.
Coddled. Would you say at I Have a Bean that you judge the coffee beans based on the content of their character?
Yes. Yes, we do. It is the content of their flavor, their inherent flavor, which is the character of the coffee bean.
What made you want to get into doing this, and tell us about the name of your company, I Have a Bean?
Right. I Have a Bean comes right from I Have a Dream. And our dream today is that men and women will not be preemptively judged by the errors of their past, but will be known instead by the present evidence of the content of their character.
And this is a serious thing.
It is.
So explain what you mean.
Why
in terms
is
of
that?
how you put that into practice.
Right. So what we do, we have a social mission that is employing men and women who have been in prison, men and women who have a felony conviction. It is very, very difficult for somebody with a felony record to find employment, and I saw that happen with my brother-in-law when he was convicted, put in prison, and when he got out, in spite of 147 IQ and database engineer and all those things, he could not find work to save his life. And so I saw what happened there, and that woke me up to a social ill that I didn't recognize before. And one thing led to another, and we started a coffee roasting company with the express purpose of employing post-prison people.
How many ex-felons have you employed during the time?
That's a great question. So in the last 10 years, we've employed more than 50 post-prison people. Illinois' recidivism rate is the second highest in the nation. It hovers right around 50%.
Oh, my gosh.
Our recidivism rate for employees that have worked for us, less than 4%.
Really? I have to ask, what was your brother-in-law in for?
Well, we don't like to discuss that. We
well,
aren't
I'm nosy
concerned
reporter.
with their record. We're concerned with how do
they
they live today.
Right. And
that's
so,
what we're looking at.
Live in the present with an eye towards the future, Amy.
So when you sit
We'll
down
look
and
it up
talk
later.
to them in the interview process, do you need to see that they're contrite, that there's some trust there, or how do you go about deciding whether or not to hire them?
Yep, that's a great question. And we do. There's a lot of things that we look for. And remorse is one of those things, taking ownership of what they did. And their responsibility and whatever it was that they did is key to being an employee. And in fact, what I tell everybody that I interview, if I can't trust you, you can't work for me. Because, I mean, if you think about it, I'm here with you guys at Joe Cotton Ford today, and who's running my roasting plant? What you would say is felons, right? Felons are running my roasting plant. They're my friends. But we call them post-prison people. Actually, we call them Amy and Bob and Jill.
Yeah,
and,
right.
You know, right?
Hey, post-prison person, go pick that up.
Yeah, right.
Get over here.
Exactly right.
So, now, you're father of four?
Father of four, grandfather of four.
Wow,
and
grandfather.
a fifth one on the way.
You look younger than Amy, and
Wow,
your
that was
grandfather.
rough.
I might have been on the radio before Amy was born.
Wow. So no, but with respect to employing felons, how much of a conversation, post-prison people, how much of a
Thank you.
conversation was this with your family in terms of feeling like safety for you, safety for your family?
Not so much, because the person that went to prison was my brother-in-law.
Right, but more globally, it's your brother-in-law is one thing, but kind
Mhm.
of like people that you don't have a familial relationship is another.
Right. There was none. There was no concern whatsoever. I will tell you that my perception of what somebody who'd been to prison was before I knew people that had been to prison, other than my brother-in-law, was probably like most of society's. Somebody I don't want to have anything to do with. But I will tell you today, for all the people that I've interviewed, and I wish I could employ all of them, our company's not big enough for that.
Right, sure.
But character counts, and what I found is most people who are in prison, they're not there because they woke up one morning and said, hey, I wonder what evil I can commit today.
Yeah.
It's a mistake that they made.
Right.
And it might be a series of mistakes or poor decision-making, but there are reasons for that, and most people don't want to be there and don't want to live like that. So once they're out, society, in theory, right, they've done their time and they've paid for their crime, but we as society, you want to keep our thumb on them and say, yeah, but you can't work here, you can't go here, you can't whatever.
Can't vote.
Can't
Right.
vote, a bunch of things.
Right.
And that's just not right.
So is there mobility within your organization, within your I Have a Bean group, where if you start at a lower level, can you move up to management?
There are no positions closed to anyone. So it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how long you've been there. And you can work for us for life if you want to. Or, I don't understand this, not everybody wants to be in coffee the rest of their life. I know, it's
strange.
stunning.
Yeah, it's odd.
But, so we have what we call transition employment, transition-friendly employment. If you have skills in auto mechanics or art or whatever it is, we want to see you be able to make a living doing the things that you have talent and skill for, and that may not be roasting or selling coffee. But you're welcome to stay with us, work with us, as long as that takes to get you to the next step. So that's...
How many of your employees have moved on to, say, being
well,
an
if we've
auto
employed
mechanic
right, so if we've employed more than 50, I've got 8 total employees at a time.
Okay.
So that should give you some impression of that, and less than 4% recidivism rate.
Is there, I mean, I just think of programs like this, and you think of like Chuck Colson's Prison Fellowship
Right.
and other such programs, and I wonder if there's a religious component to your outlook on this the way there was for some of these other programs like Colson.
There absolutely is. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for my faith. It's the thing that I feel that I'm called to do, and my whole life I can look back at specific things, even to being on the radio when I was 6, to being the things that prepared me to do what I'm doing today. I look back at my 20-year-old self and I think, why couldn't I know then what I know now and have the heart then that I have now so I could be doing this back then? But I didn't know enough. I didn't care enough. I didn't know anybody that had been in prison. And all of that changed, leading to this.
Well, you were on the radio when you were 6. Were you some sort of child star?
His dad was a DJ.
Oh.
Tell us, yeah.
My
and
father was a DJ, right?
Yeah, and you read the Sunday comics.
Yeah, we call them the funnies. I was 6 years old.
Is your father Dick Biondi?
Yeah, hey, you know him. No, but I was on the radio when I was 6. My mom wrote jingles for a radio station in Grand Junction, Colorado. So I was on the air there, and then he moved to KRLD in Dallas and was on the air there.
And he put you on the air, right?
And he put me on the air. It was great.
And you read the Sunday comics?
Read the Sunday comics with my dad.
That's so fun on
the
radio.
I know. It was a lot of fun.
Now,
back when they did that.
Yeah.
Going back to your business, I Have a Bean. So where can people get the I Have a Bean coffee brands?
Because
Thank
it's
you very
good.
much.
It's strong.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Whew.
Well, you had uncut Colombian this morning.
Oh,
right?
sure I did.
That's right.
Whatever that was. I'm feeling fine.
So our coffee is most readily available at our website. We do things a little bit differently, and you can imagine our website URL is ihaveabean.com. If you
that wasn't taken, huh?
It wasn't taken, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. If you order it today, we will roast your coffee today, and you will get it today.
Wow.
We do everything the same day. So you can also buy it at various coffee shops and restaurants around the area and places like that. But the best place to get it is right at our website, and we will roast and ship it or deliver it to you in person today.
I love it. I mean, the Colombia coffee is excellent. But I got to ask you, and for a little tutorial for our listeners, obviously, the Ethiopia as the home of coffee,
birthplace of
coffee,
right.
And so how is it going in Ethiopia with respect to their coffee exports?
Actually, coffee exports have gone up and down a lot in Ethiopia over the years, and the Ethiopian government has gotten involved in previous years, and they've put in the Ethiopian Coffee Exchange to try and curb black market coffee, because coffee bean export is a big deal for the country of Ethiopia.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they put a bunch of controls in place, and what that did, it brought control, but it disallowed us from finding the particular farmer that grew this particular coffee. Now, that's not the case today. They've relaxed those controls. They've gotten control of the black market. So we can trace the coffee right back to the washing station that it came from.
He is Peter Leonard, the founder of I Have a Bean Coffee Roasters, ihaveabean.com, the website if you want to order the coffee that we're enjoying this morning, or stop by for a cup at Joe Cotton Ford at the corner of Gary and North Avenue. Peter, thanks so much for joining us.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
respect
great
the mission
work.
you guys are fulfilling, and continued success with the business.
Thank you very much.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford.
Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sun shines out, and it is hot and humid out there today. We have a heat warning in effect from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups, a high of 92. Tonight, humid, warm, a low of just 76. And for tomorrow, breezy, hot and humid, partial sunshine, a high of 91. And things are going to cool down here drastically by Wednesday. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Dominic Fortini in for Jim Telemonte.
Roads heating up as well. We've got delays pretty much all across the Chicago area expressways. Eden's in 23 minutes. Same on the outbound ride. Kennedy in. Hung up at Kimball, 34 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 16 in from the junction, 14 in the inbound express. Thick traffic on the outbound side, just past the junction through the O'Hare extension, already 40 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike adds up to 48 minutes in from Thorndale, 38 on the reverse ride. Inbound side of the Stevenson, watch for a crash just past Lamont, backing things up to Weber. Crews have blocked off the left lane as they deal with that accident. Outbound side of the Ryan, still have those express lanes shut down, 43rd to Garfield. All traffic being forced into the local lanes near 43rd. Watch for delays 47th through the Skyway, 24 minutes downtown out to 95th. Inbound Bishop Ford in the brakes, 115th into the Ryan, northbound Lakeshore Drive. Plenty busy between the Stevenson and Jackson. Also seeing brake lights Monroe to Wacker. That's where you've got resurfacing work in the two left lanes. Northbound side of the Tri-State already slow between 88 and North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Electric utilities pouring billions of dollars into preventing an attack on electrical grids, and Democrats face an almost impossible task of retaking the Senate. Those stories next.
Warning. Property protected by electric fence. Shark sighted in water.
There are a lot of warnings you don't want to miss.
Bridge out.
Especially when it comes to your identity and the personal information on your devices. That's why new LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now adds Norton Security for more protection than ever. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats, like your personal info for sale on the dark web. And Norton Security helps protect up to 5 devices from ransomware and other online threats. Plus, if you have a problem, our agents will work to fix it. No one can stop every cyber threat, prevent all identity theft, or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But missing a warning sign...
Warning. Minefield ahead.
...could be dangerous. Join now and get 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Just go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. Terms apply. New LifeLock with Norton. More detection, more protection.
The prospect of terrorists attacking or shutting down the nation's electrical grid has the attention of America's electric utilities, pouring billions of dollars into countering cyber attacks revealed by Homeland Security last month. Utilities now upgrading software to ensure flexible distribution of electricity and to forestall any threat. Late last week, just as the GOP candidate in that Ohio special election was finally declared the winner, political analyst Stu Rotherberg flatly declared the Democrats face a nearly impossible task to retake the Senate this fall. Democrats at their summer conclave in Chicago were told they face long odds at best in the midterms, despite crowing about a so-called blue wave. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Turnkey IT knows that computer networks and all things IT are the vital heartbeat of any company. However, keeping up with hardware and software to hiring and managing IT staff can be costly and time-consuming, but there is a different solution. Now your business can have a full-time IT department for only $795 a month. That's what Turnkey's IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and so much more, plus new hardware every 4 years. Hey, where can you hire a reliable and highly capable employee for less than $10K per year? Well, you don't have to with Turnkey IT. From one person to 200 employees, it's easy and affordable with Turnkey IT. You run your business, they handle the technical stuff. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You know, it's never a good look, guys, when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. You may think it makes you look casual, but more than likely it just looks kind of sloppy. So Untuck It makes shirts specifically designed to be worn untucked, which is the way I love wearing shirts. This is a casual shirt that's not too long, not too short. It's perfect. The shirts are designed so well, GQ calls them perfection. Untuck It shirts. I love these shirts. Log on to untuckit.com. UNTUCKIT. Untuck it and stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt. Use the promo code MikeG and you'll get 20% off your purchase. There's also 25 retail locations across the country for Untuck It. UNTUCKIT. Untuckit.com. Check out all the new arrivals. I mean, it's a good looking shirt. I'm wearing these every day. Untuckit.com. Promo code MikeG for 20% savings. Untuckit.com. Your solution to perfecting casual.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith and magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
The following is a paid political announcement.
We need strong borders to keep America safe. That's why President Trump is fighting to build the wall. But Senator Joe Donnelly's votes would have made us less safe. In Congress, Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty. But then he changed his position. In the Senate, Donnelly joined liberals like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants, even illegal immigrants who had committed serious crimes, including domestic violence and child abuse. Donnelly told us he was against amnesty, but then he voted for amnesty. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to fight for full border security funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Amnesty won't keep America safe. Fully securing our border will. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Hey, honey, what's going on?
I was just logging in and checking on our account, and I thought we were going to do better this year.
I know. I've been trying to watch what I spend. No more stopping for coffee for me.
I don't think giving up coffee is going to do it. We need more income for our day-to-day, not to mention setting aside something for the kids' college and our retirement.
Man, I wish there was an answer.
For most of us, no one ever taught us how to invest, yet it's a skill that we all need. If you're looking to generate extra income, Online Trading Academy, the leader in financial education, can help. Attend one of Online Trading Academy's free introductory classes, and they'll show you how to create monthly, weekly, or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros just for attending. Register now by calling 888-984-TRADE, 888-984-8723, or OTAChicago.com. 888-984-TRADE or OTAChicago.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Bradley Smith, former FEC commissioner, about just how much legal exposure Trump has to campaign finance law violations. That's at 7:07.
And later, people calling on the Pope to resign. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching today. Crews mopping up after battling a fire. Sweltering heat will hit Chicagoland, and authorities investigating after 2 men were shot on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Outside, we have a heat advisory set for the afternoon. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Searching for a motive in Baltimore after the shooting in Jacksonville. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
A good friend of mine, I can kind of like recognize his voice as it was happening. I heard him start to yell, "I'm hit, get help."
That was during a video game tournament in Florida when a gamer opened fire after losing and killing 2 people, injuring 11, then killing himself. His father's home in Maryland, searched by the FBI hours later.
This was a qualifying tournament for the Madden NFL Championship Series. The winners here get the right to go to Vegas and compete for a total purse of $200,000. The suspect and killer, the only person police and sheriff's deputies say is responsible here, 24-year-old David Katz.
Fox's Phil Keating outside where it happened in Jacksonville. There are several public goodbyes planned for the late Senator John McCain, who died on Saturday of brain cancer. The first one in his home state of Arizona. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal's live in Sedona.
And Dave, even those who didn't love his positions, like his bipartisan approach to immigration, said John McCain deserves the ceremony scheduled for him this week.
I think he's a good guy, definitely a patriot, there's no doubt about it.
Others liked his Maverick nickname and liked being represented by someone who symbolized Arizona's independent thinking.
But I like that he was very strict in his own rules with himself and what he did and what he believed, and didn't deviate because of influences of people or parties.
McCain will lie in state in Arizona's capital Wednesday, which would have been his 82nd birthday. He'll then lie in state at the U.S. Capitol on Friday, Dave.
Jessica, Sunday, McCain will be buried at the U.S. Naval Academy Cemetery the day after a funeral at Washington's National Cathedral. Former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama will speak. President Trump will not attend. He and McCain have been critical of each other. The president did put out a tweet offering prayers to the senator's family, but he rejected releasing a statement that would have praised McCain as an American hero. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Skies are partly sunny, 79 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Sweltering heat will hit Chicagoland today. A heat advisory goes into effect at around 11 a.m. and lasts until 7. Tonight, heat indexes will soar over the 105 mark. Authorities continue investigating after 2 men were shot on the Dan Ryan Expressway. State police say gunfire erupted early this morning before a vehicle crashed in the southbound express lanes near Garfield. Victims were hospitalized. Their conditions right now not released. Investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire that killed 8 children during a sleepover in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood.
I don't even know how I'm going to wake up and continue life knowing that my brothers and sisters are 6 feet underground.
Marcos Contreras says he lost 2 siblings in that blaze that broke out early yesterday in a coach house near Cermak in Sacramento. 3 are badly hurt following a fire in Naperville that broke out in an apartment building near 5th and Ogden Avenues. And a Chicago man is accused of stabbing a woman over the weekend inside of a Southside CTA Red Line station. Ricky McMahon is expected to appear in court today on an attempted murder charge. The Bulls' Lauri Markkanen is thanking the late John McCain for helping him play basketball in the United States. The Finnish sharpshooter tweeted out yesterday he'll forever be grateful to the Arizona senator for helping him secure a student visa for his lone season at the University of Arizona. Markkanen was experiencing major visa problems before he left Finland in 2016 and turned to McCain for help before his freshman season with the Wildcats. Chicago sports, Michael Kopech notched his first career win. White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2. Cubs hammered the Reds 9-0 at Wrigley Field. The news is a service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th, get one kid's meal free with an adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under ordering from the kids' menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes school taste better. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America, Automated Systems Incorporated, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Chicago area expressway is plenty busy this morning. Eden's in 25 minutes, 23 on the outbound ride. Inbound Kennedy already stacking up between the O'Hare extension and the Burns Circle. 46 in from O'Hare, 24 in from the junction, 25 in the inbound express. Outbound traffic, pretty heavy division through the O'Hare extension. 24 minutes downtown to Montrose. 50 if you're headed out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, 50 minutes in from Thorndale, 33 in from Manheim. Got a crash northbound 55 past Lamont. Backing things up to Weber. Crews have blocked off the left shoulder as they work on that. On the outbound side of the Ryan, the express lane still closed 43rd to Garfield, but on the traffic cams, we can see they're wrapping up with their investigation. Those lanes should be reopened shortly. Inbound delays begin right near the Stevenson, 34 minutes, 95th into downtown. Outbound still looking at 25 minutes, downtown to 95th. Again, southbound Lakeshore Drive resurfacing work keeps things a little bit slow. Irving Park to North Avenue. On the northbound side, those delays Monroe to Wacker with the construction work. Northbound Tri-State tight at 88 into Lawrence. And on Route 53, eastbound, you got some delays between the Jane Addams and Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
At 7:07 on AM 560, it is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Chicago's Morning Answer continues. After your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Heat advisory in effect from 11 a.m. this morning until 7 p.m. this evening. Air quality will be unhealthy for sensitive groups. Breezy, hot and humid with partial sunshine today, high 92 and a low 76. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
79 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by 1-800-4BLIND-CHICAGO.com. Call 773-447-5448 and get the sun out of your eyes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we're broadcasting live this morning at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream, kicking off ticket sales for our annual Freedom Summit. That's October 27th in Itasca.
Yeah, at the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca. And our speakers, Dan, include former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, and AM 560's Mike Gallagher, plus others, plus Dan Proft will be speaking. And we want you to stop by. We're at Joe Cotton Ford at Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream. We have free coffee here from I Have a Bean, located in beautiful Wheaton. But they're here today. Get a free cup of coffee, some donuts, and sign up to win a pair of free tickets to Freedom Summit Chicago. Also, you can buy your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com.
So over the weekend, Lanny Davis is still refusing to admit that he's the jerky boys of Saul Rosenberg. He won't admit that, but he has.
This is hell.
Yeah.
Your car's running out there. Oh boy, I really did it this time. Oh boy.
He did admit, though, that he has the same definition of truth as Michael Wolff, who penned the unauthorized inside scoop on the Trump White House, right? Mm-hmm. The definition of Michael Wolff's definition of truth, if it sounds true, it is. That's sort of Lanny Davis. Lanny Davis, who was doing the rounds on all the talk shows last week, saying that Michael Cohen, his client, has knowledge of Trump's pre-knowledge of DNC hacking and other collusion-related matters. Now Lanny Davis saying, and this from the Amazon Post, that he has a strong feeling it might be true.
Oh, feeling.
His women's intuition. Now, so he's essentially walked that back in because Lanny Davis is a prevaricating flack, just like he was for the Clintons. He now is for Cohen. But just on the Saul Rosenberg thing, if you'll indulge me, I tried to make the case last week. I don't know if I've convinced everybody. Here's Lanny Davis on Megyn Kelly.
Could I just take one opportunity to remind everyone that Michael Cohen has suffered a tragic and difficult experience with his family. He's without reason.
Now here's Lanny Davis doing Saul Rosenberg for the Jerky Boys.
Well, I'm asking you for help, and maybe I could sue for punitive damages that you're giving me.
I'm giving you?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
What'd I do to you?
Well, punitive damages here.
Not only
punitive damages.
That is perfect. That is him.
It's a similar rap with the same demonstration of legal knowledge. All right, so a little bit more on this topic, the campaign finance piece of it, the two felonies to which Michael Cohen pled guilty last week. The operative debate is, did Michael Cohen plead guilty to did he plead guilty to something that is not a campaign contribution? So in excess as well as illicit campaign contribution, was there no violation of the law? Was the hush money a campaign contribution regulated by campaign finance law and the Federal Election Commission? Well, no better person to help us answer that question than Bradley Smith, who's a law professor and the former chairman of the FEC, also the co-author of the book Voting Rights and Election Law. Bradley Smith, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Dan.
So how should we understand this $130,000 Cohen payment? Was it an in-kind corporate contribution in violation of contribution limits, or is this something separate and distinct from a election-related expense?
Well, there are a couple of interesting things here. I have to get a touch technical, but we'll try to keep it, basic, right? The prosecutor relies on the law which says that anytime you spend money for the purpose of influencing a campaign, it's a campaign contribution. And it would be illegal for a corporation to make a contribution, and it would be illegal for an individual to make a contribution or a loan over $2,700, right? So that's what he relies on. Here's the problem that you have. The courts have always recognized that anything for the purpose of influencing a campaign could be anything. I mean, this radio show, right, might influence a campaign, or somebody might say that's the purpose of it or whatever. You know, so anytime we talk about public issues at all. So the courts have always tried to narrow this, and you have to look at the whole statute. And the statute includes another part of the law which says that anything that is spent for an obligation that was not created by the campaign is personal use. That is, it's personal use of campaign funds, and you can't spend campaign funds on that. So to give an idea, a real simple one. You're a candidate. You say, boy, I look great in this new suit at the debate tonight. You can't buy the suit with your campaign funds. That's personal use because you got to buy clothing anyway. This isn't something that's part of your campaign in that same way, even though the reason you really wanted to buy the suit was to influence the campaign. To be more relevant to this then, let's suppose a candidate says, like a businessman like Trump, he's got lawsuits against him, against his businesses. He says, I think these lawsuits are a bunch of BS. They're worthless, but they're damaging my reputation with voters, so he tells his lawyers, get them settled. Does the settlement become a campaign expenditure? No, it is not, and you can't use campaign funds for it. And I think when you look at it that way, this obligation, it may be that they chose to pay it in part to influence the campaign or whatever else, but the obligation wasn't created from the campaign in the same way as buying TV ads, renting office space for your campaign, and so on. And so I think in the end that this is simply not a campaign expenditure, and we don't really want it to be because we want some clarity in the law that lets people know when they're on the hook, when they're being covered by campaign finance laws, and when they're not.
But didn't with paying off the ladies, but didn't when he paid off those ladies or had Michael Cohen do it, wasn't that affecting the election? Because that's what the Democrats told me all weekend. They kept saying, no, this is it. This is how he's going to go down. I said, not really, because, I mean, paying off the ladies could be a personal expenditure.
Well, and Bradley, right. just one more friendly amendment to that point. Mm-hmm. Could you also address how important it was that the effort to get a NDA with Stormy Daniels started in 2011 and how that plays into whether or not this should be defined as a campaign contribution or not?
Sure. So there's two things here. For Amy's point, which is, what you're hearing, it's not a stupid reaction for people to have, right? The key thing is that the Federal Election Commission, when it wrote regulations to implement this law, specifically rejected the idea that just because something might be intended to influence the election, it counted as an expenditure unless the obligation came up only because of the campaign. Like, again, hiring a campaign manager, paying for yard signs. Those things don't happen absent the campaign. But other obligations happen even though you might be deciding to pay them because of the campaign. Like I say, like settling a lawsuit, which would be the closest example I can think of to this, and is one that is specifically included in the FEC regulations, saying that is a personal expenditure. That's not a campaign expenditure. So the test is not, was this partly to influence the campaign? The test is really, did this obligation, was it created by campaigning? And it wasn't. And this goes to, Dan, your point, which is, Stormy Daniels, we know, had been asking for money, or at least kind of vaguely threatening to, for some time before that, which suggests again that, Trump might have had reasons to settle this before. Now, we might say, well, why didn't he settle it before? Why does he only settle it close to the campaign? But that really goes to the question of Stormy Daniels asking. It goes to the question of that mixed use again, that they decided, well, maybe we should settle this now. But the obligation, as you can see, came up long before he was a candidate, that he was at least potentially obligated to pay this. It wasn't created by him running for office.
Now, if there's documents in this reported safe over at National Enquirer
Geraldo Rivera's going to open it up, the vault, with all the secret information.
I'd love to see it. Actually, yeah, that'd be great. We should do a whole another special, see if he gets it right this time. But I mean, let's say in there they have documents that provide evidence to support the claim that Trump directed Cohen to make the payment for the express purpose of keeping this quiet so it didn't negatively impact his electoral chances. What is his exposure then? Do we have a situation where, okay, then it's a campaign expenditure, and at minimum he should have disclosed his pass-through Cohen's contribution and any pass-through reimbursement of said contribution, in the evidence that it was all Trump-directed for the purpose of preventing a negative impact on his campaign, what's the exposure?
Right. Well, one of the things we have here is that we don't have any real law on this. That is, we don't have decisions by courts interpreting these two apparently contradictory provisions of the statute, right? I mean, one says if it's for the purpose of court. However, we do have the John Edwards prosecution from about a decade ago. People remember John Edwards had a very similar thing, was paying off a woman with whom he'd had a child out of wedlock, and it was intended to keep his political viability up prior to the 2008 presidential campaign. And a jury did not convict on that. Now, he was indicted, taken to trial, but a jury did not convict on that. So, I think that's a pretty strong argument. And I think if you look at the case as I do, I think that you'll say it doesn't really matter how they paid for it. It's not a violation. And people will say, this just sounds like a technical offense or technical explanation. You're a lawyer. It doesn't pass the smell test. The law relies on technicalities that allow people to know if what they're doing is legal or not. And imagine yourself a Trump campaign lawyer, and he says, well, we've got to settle this with Stormy Daniels, and you're sitting there saying, well, if I paid for it with campaign funds, then they're going to say it's an illegal personal use.
Exactly.
And if I paid for it with personal funds, then they're going to claim it was an illegal campaign payment that wasn't reported. They get you coming or going, and that's one of the real problems with these laws.
Well, right, and the perfect backdrop of this in Illinois, we would say Jesse Jackson and Sandy Jackson's case, but more recently, last week, Duncan Hunter and his wife being indicted for using their campaign fund for personal expenses. This is what the government alleges, and it's more clean cut when it's clothes and jewelry and trips and the like.
Dental work.
And dental work or whatever, but it's still of the same kind, one could argue. So you could see where counsel for President Trump would say you're sort of caught in God's little acre, west of the rock and east of the hard place.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's exactly the provision of the statute I'm talking about. And, Amy, I get your point, like dental work. But think about it, right? What the FEC did not want was candidates saying, well, I got to go on a campaign trail. I got to have my teeth whitening done. This is a campaign expenditure.
Yeah.
And that's why they wrote the law in such a way, the regulations for the law, to say that's personal use.
So here's the thing. If President Trump just admitted that he doesn't know the law and he delegated it to Cohen, or states that he pays off women for sex on a routine business, would that help him? Do you think he'd be off the hook?
Well, definitely it helps him, because at that point you lose a knowing and willful violation. One of the key things here was that Cohen pleaded to knowingly and willfully doing this. And what that does is that makes it a criminal violation with potential jail time as opposed to an accidental violation. So, for example, some folks might remember back in 2008, the Obama campaign took in quite a bit of money that was in illegal amounts. It was over the allowable amounts, or from sources that are not allowed to give, like foreigners and so on. And the campaign ended up paying a $350,000 penalty, I think was the amount. It was something like that. Right? Yeah. But there were no criminal charges there, right? It's just viewed as, whoops, stupid us, shouldn't have done that. And you pay a fine, and that's the more normal way that these things are handled.
All right. He is Bradley Smith, former chairman of the Federal Election Commission, law professor. The book, Voting Rights and Election Law. Bradley, thanks so much for joining us and explaining this. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, how much you can make for snuggling. I think I'm going to find me a new job. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine and heat and humidity. It is hot out there, folks. A high today of 92 degrees. We have a heat warning in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. Then we don't get much of a break overnight. Very warm, humid, a low of 76. And for tomorrow, breezy, hot and humid, partial sunshine, a high of 91. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Dominic Fortini in for Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Edens on the brakes at Devon, 25 in from Lake Cook, 24 on the outbound trip. Inbound Kennedy stacks up at Irving Park, 46 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 24 in from the junction, 25 in the inbound express. Thick traffic outbound Division through the junction, then Central through the O'Hare extension. 24 downtown to Montrose, 50 if you're headed out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike backing up near Manheim, 50 in from Thorndale. Outbound delays Costner through the Rig, and northbound 55. Watch for crews dealing with a crash in the left shoulder just past Lamont. It'll tie things up back to Weber. We've got good news on the outbound Ryan. Those express lanes have reopened between 47th and the Skyway, so 20 minutes downtown out to 95th, 34 if you're headed inbound. Inbound Bishop Ford, the brakes near 111th. Southbound Lakeshore, trouble spots Irving Park to North Avenue because of road construction in the 2 left lanes. Northbound delays Monroe to Wacker. Also seeing some heavy traffic northbound Tri-State between 88 and Lawrence. Northbound 355 taps the brakes 55 through the Reagan. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
With the recent rainy weather, Permaseal is working hard to help homeowners across Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana, but they need your help. Permaseal is hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, and installation. They're looking for people with a great work ethic who have ambition, positive attitude, and want to learn new skills and have a desire to make the world a better, drier place. Does this sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience is needed. Permaseal will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repair. Their experienced team offers great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. If you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Hugh Hewitt for Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only conservative cell phone company in the nation that fights for your values. They partner with over 15 conservative organizations like Gun Owners of America, the Heritage Foundation, the Susan B. Anthony List. Patriot Mobile takes a portion of your bill and contributes it back to these organizations. No extra cost to you. Support conservative causes you believe in and switch to Patriot Mobile's nationwide super fast, super reliable network. Unlimited talk and text plans start at just $20 a month. Plus, you can save on select iPhones starting at only $4 a month. At this great value, one size doesn't have to fit all. Pick one that's right for you and your budget. They also have great deals on Android phones. Hurry, join Patriot Mobile. This offer is valid while supplies last. Also, make sure to mention the promo code HUGH to waive your activation fee when you join. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT or go to patriotmobile.com/Hugh. Again, patriotmobile.com/Hugh or 1-800-A-PATRIOT. Start making conservative change happen every time you use your cell phone.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of UStore It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of UStore It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Andrew, stop by for a free cup of coffee and a donut and sign up for Freedom Summit Chicago. That's when we're having it. And you can enter to win 2 free tickets here at Joe Cotton Ford at Gary and North Avenue. So come on by. We're here till 9 a.m.
I have a bean.com, coffee roasting with a mission. Check out their offerings here. Colombian uncut as well as Ethiopian, the birthplace of coffee we've learned this morning. We learn things here, like in Atlanta. we learn that the Pledge of Allegiance outdated.
Yeah, no more Pledge of Allegiance.
No less an authority and intellect than Atlanta Neighborhood Charter School Principal Laura Zelsky decided students will no longer recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
She should be fired, sorry.
During the school's morning meeting agenda. Well, meeting agenda.
What does that mean?
Well, I thought they were in the business of education.
Didn't you stand up every day and recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I did, but I
You
went
did?
to Catholic school because my parents loved me.
Well, my parents loved me. I went to public school, and we stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance. It's not...
I mean, I'll concede the latter point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't... Principal Zelsky wants to begin our day as a fully inclusive and connected community. Over the past couple of years, it's become increasingly obvious that more and more of our community were choosing to not stand and or recite the pledge. Golly, I wonder where they got that from. Teachers and the K-5 leadership team will be working with students. Oh, great. That's a collaborative effort with the toddlers to create a school pledge that we can say together at the morning meeting. Adding it will, she added that it will focus on the students' civic responsibility to their school family, community, country, and, importantly, our global society. I pledge allegiance to our global society.
It's sick. That principal should be fired.
And then they're going to say a prayer to the dearly departed Kofi Annan.
Well, yeah, right. Well, are parents fighting back? I mean, if my kid went to that school, I'd want to, form a solidarity against the principal and say, bring back the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's mostly it's just the educrats weighing in and some of those who've gotten wind of this from outside the school districts inveighing against it. So we'll see how that plays out. Look for that to come to a school near you, particularly if, like, say you live in, I don't know, Wilmette, Glencoe, Highland Park, Deerfield. Related story, a federal judge who was presiding over a citizenship ceremony in Brooklyn last week.
By the way, he was appointed by President Obama.
She.
She. Excuse me,
yeah.
she.
I mean, not that we make distinguish gender these days, but Judge LaShanne DRC, this an eyewitness account at the Spectator.org, American Spectator. She gave a speech to the new citizens. She said, according to the eyewitness, she sounded like a Democrat Party ward boss. She urged the new citizens to vote as soon as humanly possible. She made voting sound like a tremendous act of self-defense against a country they had just joined. Then she started in, again, this is reading from George Newmar's first-person account. Then she started in on some ludicrous riff about the First Amendment, encouraging the new Americans to exercise that right as robustly as possible, including taking a knee.
Oh, my God.
So new citizens who pledge allegiance to this country should immediately take a knee to protest the pledge and the country to which they have successfully emigrated. Do you follow the left's logic here? Me neither.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, people are calling on the Pope to resign. Plus, later, Diamond and Silk are going to be here. But first, let's go straight into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
78 degrees, partly sunny skies. Sweltering heat slamming Chicagoland today. Heat advisory goes into effect around 11 a.m. Senator Jeff Flake paying respects to his fellow Arizona lawmaker, the late Senator John McCain.
Just putting, the good of the country above your own self-interest. I think that was his mantra, and we could all learn in these days, and seeing the good in your opponents.
Flake on CNN's State of the Union. McCain will be given a funeral at the Washington National Cathedral before burial at Annapolis, Maryland. 3 are dead following a mass shooting at a video game tournament in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville's sheriff saying the dead include the shooter himself. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams says training of his first responders paid off.
So we spend a lot of time training together and separately for events like this. We pray, obviously, that it never happens, but today it did, and they were prepared.
At least 11 remain hospitalized, all in stable condition. Authorities continue investigating after 2 men were shot on the Dan Ryan Expressway early this morning. Investigators continue their probe into a fire that killed 8 children during a sleepover in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. And Chicago Cardinal Blaise Supich is responding to allegations that disgraced former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick helped advance his career. Supich questioned some details in a letter written by a former Vatican official that claims McCarrick was instrumental in getting Supich appointed by the Pope. Michael Kopech notched his first career victory. White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2 in Detroit. Thanks to Kopech, Sox took 3 of 4 in that series. Cubs beat the Reds 9-0 at Wrigley Field. The news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. It can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
Formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic Fortini.
Plenty of delays across the Chicago area expressways. Eden's in, hung up at Cicero, 24 Lake Cook to Montrose, 30 on the outbound ride. Inbound Kennedy, 46 minutes in from O'Hare, 24 in from the junction, 25 of the inbound express. The bulk of the delay begins at Irving Park. Outbound starts to slow up at Division, then again Central through the O'Hare extension, 50 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound side of the Eisenhower pretty slow, 355 to Wooddale. Outbound delays between Cicero and Manheim. Still having problems northbound 55. A 7-car crash just past Lamont keeps things off the left shoulder closed down. Tie-ups begin at Weber. Outbound Ryan, those express lanes reopened again after an earlier shooting. Things moving well. 16 minutes downtown to 95th. Inbound I-57 starts to slow near 119th. Delays on the inbound Bishop Ford. Tie-up traffic right near 111th. We got resurfacing issues north and southbound Lakeshore Drive. Southbound delays Wilson to North Avenue. Northbound problems between the Stevenson and Jackson. Then again Monroe to Wacker. Traffic's a service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th. Get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under, ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, partly sunny, breezy, hot and humid, with a heat advisory going into effect around 11 a.m., a high of 92. Currently 78. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
I'm Sean from Elmwood Park. I'm in for Joe Walsh all week, if you can believe it. Tune in when Freedom Fights Fabian Socialism at 5 p.m.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream as we're kicking off ticket sales for Freedom Summit 2018.
Yes.
This bombshell over the weekend from former Nuncio Vigano of the Catholic Church. He writes in 11 pages of testimony indicting the hierarchy of the church all the way up to Pope Francis. I had always believed and hoped that the hierarchy of the church could find within itself the spiritual resources and strength to tell the whole truth, to amend and to renew itself. That's why, even though I had repeatedly been asked to do so, I always avoided making statements to the media, even when it would have been my right to do so, in order to defend myself against the calumnies published about me, even by high-ranking prelates of the Roman Curia. He goes on to talk specifically about those in the church's hierarchy who covered for Cardinal McCarrick, the former Archbishop of D.C., who he alleges orchestrated the appointment of now Cardinal Cupich to be the Archbishop of the Chicago Archdiocese, that Cupich wasn't supposed to get that appointment, but that McCarrick, who served as an advisor to Pope Francis even after he had been disciplined by Pope Benedict, his predecessor, was responsible for that. McCarrick, who has been found at least civilly liable in a sense, settlements paid out for sexually assaulting or harassing seminarians. A lot of gruesome stories about Cardinal McCarrick and Vigano in this statement, if true, is devastating both to Cardinal Cupich, who gave an award to McCarrick just 2 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
After decades-long allegations of sexual wrongdoing by McCarrick, and Pope Francis, who essentially resuscitated McCarrick's presence in the hierarchy of the church. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Mary Fiorito, who is an attorney, former top aide to Cardinal Francis George in Chicago, and visiting fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Mary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan and Amy.
So Professor Robbie George over at Princeton, who's one of the most respected conservative Catholic intellects in the world, said basically he doesn't know if these allegations by Vigano are true, of course, but that Pope Francis's response that he will not talk about it, that it's up for the press to interpret Vigano's statement as they see fit, is not sufficient, that he needs to address the allegations straight away and substantively. And I would suggest that if he doesn't do that, this is me talking, not Robbie George, if he doesn't do that, then he should resign as Pope.
Yeah, this was, oh my goodness, this is sort of like a DEFCON 1 for the church, isn't it? I mean, I could not in a million years imagine such a scenario ever taking place. And it seems like on the hour we're getting new details that are, equally shocking and horrifying at the same time. Either last night or early this morning, Monsignor Ransoum, who was basically the first assistant to Archbishop Vigano when he was the nuncio here in the United States. He had the position called the Charge d'Affaires, which would be sort of the second command at the United States Nunciature. released a statement saying what Archbishop Vigano claimed is true. And I have firsthand knowledge to back up everything he asserts in that memo. So for someone who would have had the direct knowledge that Archbishop Vigano would have had, and it's kind of important to keep in mind his reputation and his stature. He's widely regarded as being a man of absolutely impeccable integrity, a very smart man, and was also known prior to coming to the United States when he was working at the Vatican for trying to combat directly, internal division, but also, some things that were going on with the financial dealings of the Holy See Bank. He was directly involved in straightening a lot of that out, which some speculate wound up in his being sent to the United States in the first place. But it was an incredible moment over the weekend. I agree with Professor George that the Holy Father needs to be more direct in addressing this, because if he knew, and Archbishop Vigano claims directly that he did, if he knew about Archbishop McCarrick and continued to let him function in a public way and to have influence over appointments of bishops here in the United States, those are very, very grave allegations. I cannot imagine, knowing Vigano as I have, that he would make them lightly. And I was speaking to my husband over the weekend, and I just, for me, I keep going back to what must have happened that prompted Archbishop Vigano to do this. I know he's getting on in years. He's 75 now. And, you're Catholic. We have kind of a phrase in the Catholic Church. It's important to discharge your conscience when you have something on your conscience that you feel needs to be made public for the sake of the Church and others. Something must have prompted him to do this, and it must be something very serious, because, again, this is a very serious man with an impeccable reputation, and I know he wouldn't have done this lightly.
Pope Francis was in Ireland, and he apologized for the abuses, but what do you think he knew, and when do you think he knew it?
Well, this is, Amy, that's the $1 million question right now, right? I mean, it appears from the Vigano memo that he would have known, at least 8 years ago about Archbishop McCarrick, because it appears that Pope Benedict put very, very stringent restrictions on him and had essentially wanted to isolate him to a life of prayer and penance until he died. And it appears that was reversed. That decision was reversed. And so
it's actually worse than that. It's actually worse than that in Vigano's, I guess I'm pronouncing his name wrong, Vigano's
Vigano,
statement. Yeah. He recounts just this past June a conversation with Pope Francis where the Pope asked me in a deceitful way, writes Vigano, what is Cardinal McCarrick like? I answered him with complete frankness, and if you want, with great naivete. Vigano telling Pope Francis, Holy Father, I don't know if you know Cardinal McCarrick, but if you ask the congregation for bishops, there is a dossier this thick about him. He corrupted generations of seminarians and priests, and Pope Benedict ordered him to withdraw to a life of prayer and penance. So the kind of playing dumb, if you will, is what Pope Francis was doing in the face of this evidence against McCarrick, the settlements that he most assuredly knew about, the information that Vigano had passed on previously, as well as others, I'm sure. So it seems that at minimum, Pope Francis was willfully blind. And if that's so, why would he be willfully blind against in the face of a predator like McCarrick?
Yeah, it's and that's again another $1 million question. It's hard to understand why he wouldn't have moved swiftly. I mean, Pope Benedict, for the sort of reputation he had as being this ultra right-wing conservative with no compassion, and boy, he had compassion for victims of sex abuse, and he moved against another priest, Father Maciel, in addition to moving on McCarrick, it appears at the same time, and why the Holy Father would not acknowledge that and would not accept. It's very unusual for a pope not to accept the decisions of his predecessor in that regard.
So is there something Is there something ideological going on here? Is really the question.
It's possible, or as some people have pointed out, and I'm not sure. I don't want to offer this as an excuse or for it to appear, but in countries where the church was often persecuted, you saw this in Poland with John Paul. One of the tricks of the KGB, one of the things that they would do to Catholic priests, including one whom they murdered and threw in the Vistula River, they would accuse them of being homosexuals and being active homosexuals. So it's said that John Paul would always be very hesitant to believe these kind of rumors because he came out of that sort of mentality where the KGB was always trying to destroy the church from within with those kind of rumors. Now, I don't know in Argentina if they would have been subjected to the same kind of, tactics by the government, but, some of that cultural stuff does come into decisions when they're made. However, in this case, this seems to, if there's a dossier, 10 inches thick on a person, with documented evidence, and, even just talking to the priests that I know and the bishops that I know, I've asked, did you know about the thing with McCarrick? And, a number of them have said, well, certainly I didn't know about anything that involved minors. And I believe that, but the rumors of his homosexual behavior were widely known.
Well, of course, there was public settlements that were paid out. I mean, look, it's this like soft pedaling going on inside the church, and this sort of like, I don't know what the culture is stuff from leading Catholics is really sort of become tiresome for me as a Catholic.
Right.
This is Vigano again, talking about the appointments of Supich to Chicago and Tobin to Newark, orchestrated by McCarrick and others. These are his words. United by a wicked pact of abuses by the first, meaning McCarrick, and cover-up abuses by the other two involved in orchestrating these appointments. Their names were not among those presented for Chicago and Newark. Regarding Supich, Vigano says, one cannot fail to note his ostentatious arrogance and the insolence with which he denies the evidence that is now obvious to all, that 80% of the abuses found were committed against young adults by homosexuals who were in a relationship of authority over the victims. Why is it the church can't confront that reality?
Well, yeah, you look just, for example, now look at some of the articles that have already come out, last night and this morning by some of the, the left-leaning enemies of Archbishop Vigano and of others saying, well, he's literally, they're going back to the Kim Davis meeting. Do you remember when Pope Francis visited the United States? And one of the many people that Pope Francis met and thanked for her effort, to protect religious liberty and freedom was Kim Davis. And do you remember how the left went nuts and tried to blame Vigano and said Vigano blindsided Pope Francis when that meeting happened? They're dragging up this to try to discredit him personally. But, that's going to be very difficult to do because, again, Vigano's reputation internationally is simply, again, to use the phrase, it's impeccable. And he's a man of tremendous integrity. And this is a completely baffling. And, the rumors about, Cardinal Supich's name not being on Paterna, which is the name for the list of 3 names that goes to the Holy Father to choose from, those were circulating right after the appointment was made. And there's a Vatican correspondent in Rome, Sandro Magister, who even wrote an entire column on this saying, everyone here is kind of scratching their heads and they think Cardinal McCarrick has something to do with this appointment. So it's a lot's being exposed now. And, Dan, as a fellow Catholic, I think for the good of the church, it needs to be. We can't keep our heads in the sand about this stuff any longer. And that if there's going to be a purging, it has to be done for the sake of the church and for the sake of the people it's supposed to be serving.
No question. And it's conservative Catholics, particularly those of prominence like Robbie George, who we mentioned at the outset, it's their time to speak up or see the church gone, frankly. And if everything Vigano says is true about Francis, I don't see anything short of calling for his him to step down appropriate.
One bishop has already called for his resignation. Bishop Strickland in Texas has released a statement to his priests and asked them to post it on all their social media pages for their parishes, saying these allegations are incredibly grave and obviously we need to investigate first. However, they have every appearance of being 100% true and credible, and if that is the case, the Holy Father has to resign.
And in Chicago, think about this against the backdrop of the CPS sex abuse scandal. We don't have a cardinal, an archbishop, head of the diocese that can speak with moral clarity on it because of what we know, or certainly what is alleged in the Vigano testimony.
It appears his voice might now be compromised, which is incredibly sad because, the Archbishop here is, because it's not a completely Catholic city, but it's a heavily Catholic city and has always been, a voice of of unity, but also of moral persuasion on issues that relate to the common good, including the education of children who attend public schools. And it's really sad that that influence could be diminished in such a way that, he would not be taken seriously. It's a very, very heartbreaking day for the church.
She is Mary Fiorito. She's an attorney, former top advisor to Cardinal George, and visiting fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Mary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan and Amy. Have a great day.
You too. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago. And I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature. So we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The school year is underway, and if your kids haven't started school yet, they will be in the next few days, and maybe you're already feeling a little uneasy about your child's school or teacher this year. Public schools are changing, and if you aren't happy with what your son or daughter is learning in the classroom or on the playground or on the school bus, then maybe it's time to consider a private school. Private schools have never been more affordable, thanks to our friends at halfpriceschools.com. It's easy. Halfpriceschools.com has partnered up with private schools around the Chicagoland area to offer tuition vouchers for half the regular price. There's no catch. Go to halfpriceschools.com, find a school in your community, and purchase that tuition voucher. Then prepare to send your child off to a private school at half the normal price. There's no catch again. Vouchers are still available for Daystar School in the South Loop, Faith Lutheran School in Antioch, Emmanuel Lutheran School in Palatine, St. John's Lutheran School in LaGrange. The list goes on, but don't wait another day. School is starting soon, and don't settle for a public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians, or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through August 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Come in today and take advantage of first month's payment credit and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. There are those who settle for nothing less. For them, the choice is simple. It's either up to Mercedes-Benz standards, or it isn't. It's flawlessly maintained, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on first month's payment credit and certified pre-owned warranties.
If you're paying too much for your health insurance, listen carefully. Due to recent changes in the law, you could be overpaying $500 or more per month on your health care. There are new, more affordable health care options with better coverage. These plans are exempt from the Affordable Care Act and now open to everyone. Health care options with better benefits costing 30 to 60% less than Obamacare plans and giving you the freedom to see almost any doctor or hospital in the country. Forbes calls this the health care plan that is saving families $20,000 a year. And over 1 million Americans have already taken advantage of this game-changing healthcare program. Call 800-239-7174 now to find out how much you'll save. Employers, you too can save 50% or more on group medical insurance with health sharing. Our licensed advisors can take away all the stress of finding the right plan for your needs and budget. Best of all, our service is free. This one call could be the best decision you make this year, so don't delay. Call now to see how much you can save. For your free quote, call 800-239-7174. That's 800-239-7174. 800-239-7174.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real. It happens every day.
You can recover.
discover hope and help.
Never give up on yourself.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith and magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear, much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
Ford's summer sales event continues at Joe Cotton Ford. That means you'll find the lowest prices of the year on all our great new and certified pre-owned Ford models. Get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Explorers, Escapes, and Edges. And it's the perfect time to get a new 2018 back-to-school Focus right now for just $14,995. Come in and see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience and why Ford is America's #1 brand. We've been treating people like you like friends and family for 44 years. And for the 5th year running, we're again your favorite Ford dealer. Don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. Through August 31st, all prices plus tax, title, license, and dock fees with approved credit. See dealer for details.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Public goodbyes are planned for the late Senator John McCain. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
John McCain would decide to do the right thing and then deal with the political consequences afterwards.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, McCain's body will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol on Friday, 2 days after lying in state in Phoenix. Saturday, there will be a funeral at Washington's National Cathedral. Former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama will speak. President Trump will not be there. He and McCain were critical of each other, and the president only reacted by tweet, rejecting putting out a statement after his death. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the statement on Senator McCain would have praised the former prisoner of war for his decades of service and would have called him a hero. A plan for the statement was pushed by Chief of Staff John Kelly and White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. The president issued a tweet after McCain's death on Saturday, writing, "My deepest sympathies and respect go out to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you." Dave.
Rachel, the FBI has gone to Baltimore, searching the home of the gamer who opened fire at a tournament yesterday in Florida, shooting 11 people. 2 of them died. Then he killed himself. Fox's Evan Brown monitoring live from Miami.
Yeah, Dave, witnesses have been very descriptive about the chaos at Jacksonville landing yesterday.
There was no way to get out, so I was really confused because I was outside the building already. I was really confused how people got out.
And while investigators won't yet discuss what they think David Katz's motive was, a number of gamers and witnesses say Katz had just been eliminated from a round in the game before he started shooting. The game is part of the Madden football brand and is not considered a violent or graphic video game. Katz had been known in the gamer community and had been a champion in previous tournaments, Dave.
Evan, a new tropical storm has formed in the Pacific that Hawaiians may be tracking Miriam after getting a soaking from the storm named Lane that dumped more than 4 feet of rain on parts of the Big Island, causing flooding. Dozens of people needed to be rescued. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Partly sunny skies, 78 degrees, and 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Sweltering heat expected to hit Chicagoland again today. A heat advisory goes into effect at 11 a.m. and lasts until 7 tonight. Authorities are investigating after 2 men were shot on the Dan Ryan Expressway. State police say gunfire erupted early this morning before a vehicle crashed in the southbound express lanes near Garfield Boulevard. Investigators are trying to determine what caused a fire that killed 8 children during a sleepover in the Little Village neighborhood. Chicago Fire says the blaze broke out yesterday in an enclosed rear porch of a coach house behind a 3-story apartment building near Cermak in Sacramento. Fire department investigating in Naperville after 3 were hurt following a blaze that broke out yesterday near 5th and Ogden Avenues. New teachers in the state of Illinois will have to settle for an average salary of just $39,000 a year. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner yesterday vetoed a plan that would have paid new teachers across the state $40,000 a year. Governor saying state-mandated minimum pay schedules are not the best way to pay teachers and would have put major pressure on small school districts. White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2 in Detroit behind Michael Kopech, notching his first career win, tossing 6 innings of 1-run ball. Cubs beat the Reds 9-0. It's 8:03. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Fox and Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Tesla shares are expected to lose more ground today after CEO Elon Musk's decision on Friday to scrap plans to take the company private. Musk says the company's research indicates most shareholders oppose the plan. Walt Disney World and its unions have reached an agreement to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2021. Money Magazine says the agreement covers approximately 38,000 employees. Most of them are now making less than $11 an hour. America's most popular apple might no longer be the Red Delicious. The U.S. Apple Association is projecting the Gala apple will be the most consumed apple this year. New varieties have siphoned sales from the Red Delicious. The Dow was up 133 on Friday, NASDAQ up 67, S&P gained 17. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America, Automated Systems Incorporated, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
It is 8:06, and let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Plenty of problems out across our Chicago area expressways. Eden's out a half hour, Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy in an hour, 2 in from O'Hare, 42 in from the Junction, 34 in the inbound express. Heavy delays between the Junction and the Burns Circle. Outbound, you're stacking up Augusta through Harlem, 54 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike still have a crash in the left shoulder at Wooddale. Traffic slowing near Manheim. That's an hour in from Thorndale, 34 in from Manheim. Northbound 55, still that multi-vehicle crash past Lamont, backing things up to Weber. Schedule an hour, 2 in from 355, 38 in from the Tri-State. Inbound Ryan, a half hour, 95th in with brake lights coming on near the ballpark at 35th. Inbound Bishop Ford rocks delays at 115th. Also struggling along north and southbound Lakeshore with construction delays. Southbound problems, Wilson and North Avenue. Northbound traffic getting hung up Monroe to Wacker. Also some solid traffic northbound Tri-State between the Reagan and Lawrence. Traffic this morning is a service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th. Get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dining only, valid for kids 12 and under. Ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Heat advisory in effect from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. for today. Partial sunshine, breezy, hot and humid, high 92, heat index values of 102 to 106, wind gusts around 30 miles per hour. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 78 degrees. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream, part of our AM 560 business tour normally, but not today. Today we're kicking off the sale of our tickets, to our Freedom Summit in October.
Yeah, October 27th at the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca. This year's speakers include former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, plus AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Joe Walsh. We will all be there. You can get tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. And this event always sells out, so do it sooner rather than later. But if you're in the area right now, you can stop by Joe Cotton Ford at Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream and sign up to enter to win a pair of tickets and come say hello. Enjoy a free cup of coffee from I Have a Bean Coffee Roasters. And again, enter to win tickets to Freedom Summit 2018.
Yeah, I Have a Bean, good Colombian and Ethiopian brands they're offering this morning. And also, it's Coffee Roasters with a Mission. They specifically employ ex-offenders. So IHaveABean.com if you want to check out more about both their mission and their product. So remembering John McCain, how should we? You heard reviews from across the political spectrum over the weekend, the Sunday talk shows with the longtime Arizona senator passing away over the weekend from brain cancer. One of them from our very own Dick Durbin. Talk about being damned with faint praise. Dick Durbin on McCain.
Well, he always had a voice of clarity and vision and courage, but I remember those moments of uncommon decency, which is unfortunately in short supply on the American political scene. I can recall when he rose to the defense of Barack Obama at a moment in the campaign when very few expected him to. Contrast that with what we went through in the lock-her-up chants of the last election. I can remember when John spoke out clearly against the white supremacists in Virginia and made it clear that he considered them to be cowards. And I can remember when he stood up for the issue of immigration, not an easy issue for anybody, certainly not a conservative Republican from Arizona. We spent 6 months together negotiating a bipartisan comprehensive bill, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. John was our leader, and we knew with him in charge, we were going to finish the job right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, remembering John McCain as the opportunity to take shots at Trump, that is the sliminess of one Dick Durbin, one of the most disgraceful politicians in Illinois history, in the history of our country. We should be ashamed as a state. We continue to send him back to the Senate just because he's mastered the art of saying completely unreasonable, mendacious things in a reasonable room temperature tone of voice. And he did it again over the weekend. Matt from Cary tweeting in, I'll always remember McCain for reaching across the aisle to Republicans.
Oh, well, he was a bipartisan champion. That's what, everybody was saying over the weekend, because he can relate to both the left and the right, maybe more to the left. But here he is in his own words. We knew that, the family decided to stop medical treatment on Friday, and he passed away on Saturday.
I hope those who mourn my passing, and even those who don't, will celebrate, as I celebrate, a happy life lived in imperfect service to a country made of ideals whose continued success is the hope of the world. And I wish all of you great adventures, good company, and lives as lucky as mine.
It's a nice sentiment, and of course, his military service is to be respected, and I think you have to separate his military service, his service to our nation in the armed services, from his 35 years in political office, and that 35 years in political office is something very much open for debate as you reflect on his legacy or anybody else's who served in public office for that long. For additional reflections on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by the First Ladies of Punditry, our friends Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So how do you think about John McCain, and particularly in the context of President Trump being one of the presidents, the two former W and Obama attending his funeral, speaking at his funeral, Trump not going to be in attendance at his funeral?
Well, I don't think that I think McCain stated that he wanted Obama to preach his eulogy. Am I correct?
Yes.
Was it something like that? If it was something like that, Obama's not even a pastor, but he wanted him to either speak or preach at his eulogy, and he didn't want Trump to attend. And I think that his wishes should be respected, but we also must understand, if you put politics in this here, John McCain, I don't think he too much cared for our president. And if you really want to bring up some things, we can bring up some things about that dossier, and John McCain was dead in the middle of that. Now, let's take politics out of it. Let's talk about him as just a man that served in the military. He served his country. He served people. He's a maverick, and that's what we appreciate. And he's going to be missed.
What do you think
That's
about
all I can say about that.
Yeah, but President Trump didn't call him a hero. He just offered condolences to his family, and then he Instagrammed a picture of himself instead of John McCain saying, our condolences go out to him and his family.
I think that the president handled that well. He handled that well as can be. Imagine somebody hating your guts. Imagine somebody hating you, and every chance they get, they throwing a dagger at you, and you are the sitting president. What was the president supposed to say? The president don't have to bend over backwards. He said what he said. I think it was in good taste. As a matter of fact, when the president tweeted it, we retweeted it.
That's right.
What he said.
And remember, our president is not fake. He's real.
Right.
He has feelings, too.
Yeah, it's interesting, the fine line between being gracious and being disingenuous, right? I mean, you had disingenuous statements, I would argue, from Barack Obama, a man that his campaign vilified as George Wallace, as an anti-immigrant bigot. They circulated evidence-free rumors of him having an affair. But when the left does it, when the left slanders and inflicts calumnies on the opposition, that's just, hey, it's just politics, man up.
Right.
And so when President Trump sparred with McCain, even when he did so, perhaps not to my liking or to the liking of others, it's genuine. If there's genuine dislike, I'm not going to be a phony. I'm not going to suggest that I believe something I don't believe, or I have feelings that I don't have. And if that comes across as ungracious, so be it.
Well, I don't think that the president was being ungracious. I think he was being gracious enough.
And he was being real.
And he was being real.
That's right.
You have to also understand now, certain people aren't saints. And I don't want to bring up the past, especially when somebody has served our country. I don't want to bring up the past and dig up the past. But certain people, hands are not cleaned.
That's
I'll
right.
say it like that.
And John McCain is dead, and it's time to allow him to rest in peace.
Right.
Period.
And I don't want to dig up past bones. I think the president handled it well, and so now let's mourn his death and let's move on.
You ladies were recently on Fox News with Jesse Waters talking about the Chicago violence. Who and what can save Chicago, do you think?
Well, first of all, that mayor need to step down. That's one of Obama's cronies. He need to step down. And what's going to save Chicago is the people of Chicago. We have to get into the minds of our black brothers and sisters and wonder why they are killing each other. Why are they shooting up the innocents? That's what's going to have to happen. I think that the president should send in I was going to say the feds, but they just as biased. Somebody need to go and investigate. Somebody need to go down there in Chicago and investigate. Because here's the reason. You cannot have that level of violence without somebody turning a blind eye. You have turf wars. You have people slinging drugs, turf wars, shooting this, shooting that, innocent people getting crossed up in all of this here. and getting shot.
That's right.
Who's getting paid for all of this here?
Yeah.
Because there's too much violence for somebody is getting paid to look the other way is what we think. And so send somebody down there to investigate it. And he is going to have to send the National Guards in there. And I'm sorry, black people is going to have to stop killing each other. This is black on black crime. This ain't about no white police officer killing a black man. This is black men killing other black men, and other citizens are getting caught up in the crossfire, and it has got to stop.
That's right.
I want to go back to all that transpired last week and get your take on how the president handled the plea bargain of his former fixer, Michael Cohen, and the conviction of Paul Manafort, one who pled guilty to 8 felonies and the other who was convicted of 8 felonies.
Well, here's the thing. Manafort, okay, so they convicted him. I think what they did was very shady. Going back into somebody's past because you don't like who they are associated with, that should be prosecutorial misconduct. Cohen, let me tell you something. What did he plead guilty to? The stuff that he pled guilty to wasn't even a crime. That's what I don't understand. And then let's take it all the way back.
All the way back.
Who ordered the hit on Michael Cohen? Who told them to go in there and raid his office, and he's a lawyer? Now, this is what I don't understand. The Clintons can beat up their computers, beat up their phones. Wasn't Hillary Clinton disbarred? She was disbarred as far as I know. And maybe I got it wrong. I'll say allegedly. But the FBI don't go in there and raid their office. They need to tell the FBI what they is and ain't going to do. But then you have a lawyer that was cooperating, and then you send the attorney general in New York. You tipped him off and then have that man's office raided.
That's
for
right.
what? So that you can find out some dirt on his client, which was Donald Trump.
Well,
they thought he was paying out hush money to cover,
wait. So you mean our government is spending our tax dollars to run down some hush money about a porn star, but we ain't got no money to build the wall? And let me tell you something. If it was hush money paid, it wasn't taxpayers' dollars. So why are you bringing this to the citizens' face?
That's right. And what about the congressional hush funds for members of Congress and their staff, where taxpayer dollars are paying for those people that have allegations against them? We are paying for that, and they won't even tell us who are these people. Who are we paying these people off? What about that hush fund?
That's right. What y'all don't understand, and this is why it just hits me to the core, because this is prosecutorial misconduct,
That's right.
prosecutorial overreach. This is what they used to do back in the day with black men. They will railroad them and pin something on them just to get something so that they can go to jail. And I see it happening to a sitting president, and they have to stop this foolishness.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
Was Michael Cohen's Fourth Amendment rights violated?
That's right.
What probable cause gave Mueller the right to go to the U.S. Attorney General in New York to say, let's raid his office and his hotel, and he is an attorney?
That's right.
What is the probable cause?
And where is Jeff Sessions? Because when you see this level of biases happening to American citizens, you are supposed to step in to protect them, not sit somewhere being Sessions and hiding and looking like you half scared.
That's right.
Oh, boy, there's a lot to react to there. Just a point of order, Hillary Clinton wasn't disbarred. But let me ask you this about Michael Cohen. You know, Michael Cohen, I mean, he committed bank fraud and other financial crimes. But you think Michael Cohen is a victim?
When did he do it? When did he do it?
He did it within the statute of limitations, and that's all that really matters.
He did it within the statute of limitation, but Mueller was appointed to do what? To investigate what? Russia probe, the Russian collusion.
Which is why he farmed out to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan.
By Rod Rosenstein.
But wait, answer my question. You think Michael Cohen, who defrauded banks and is otherwise a bottom feeder, is a victim in this story?
I'm not saying that he's a victim, but what I'm saying is that when you see stuff that don't look right, you got to call it out.
That's
Let me
right.
tell you something. I'm not on no Michael Cohen side. I'm very disappointed in him. I'm very disappointed on how he tried to stab our president in the back to save his own self.
That's right.
But what I don't like is for somebody to tip somebody off, go in there, raid his office, and this is only to find stuff that has to do with the president.
With the president.
So you can embarrass him, character assassinate him, and smear him is what I see.
Yes, it's not fair.
Calling it out. And forgive me if I said that Clinton was disbarred. Maybe I got the story wrong. But what I don't understand is I saw colluding within the DNC.
That's right.
You had them tearing up their computers, beating up their cell phones. Why didn't the FBI go in and raid them?
That's right. And you had the FBI to go in and darn near hog-tied Michael Cohen's hand and feet, stripping him of his dignity and integrity just to get him to squeal like a pig. Is what you had the FBI deliberately do.
Yes, his Fourth Amendment rights were
violated.
But everybody want to look a blind eye. Everybody want to turn their heads. They want to snicker. But today, it's them. Tomorrow, it can be you.
Yeah.
That's why Sessions is going to have to step in.
That's right.
This is supposed to be about Russia collusion. Let's find the Russia collusion. If there's no Russia collusion, I don't like the prosecutorial overreach.
That's right.
I don't like that.
And all of this is being done just to impeach 45, baby.
That's right.
all this is. This is all a straight setup, and the president is being railroaded, and this is how Mueller and his cronies are doing it.
That's right.
Diamond and Silk, host of The Viewer's View. Diamond and Silk, the first ladies of punditry. Diamond and Silk, thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate your spiritedness as usual.
Thank you for having us.
And they joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
When I say resign, you say wrong. Resign. Wrong. Resign. Wrong.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago. And I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature. So we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are customers passing you by because it's a major hassle to park in your lot? Convenient and safe parking may be one of the most overlooked aspects of your business. You've neglected your parking lot for way too many years. It's falling apart and could be scaring business away. Pavement Solutions can get your parking lot in shape. With proper care, you can extend the life of your current lot with Pavement Solutions' certified specialty blend product called Gem Seal Black Diamond Enduramax. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but the best seal coat product in the industry. It'll protect your lot from sub-zero temperatures to a scorching 110-degree sun and features an abrasive, non-slip coat for safety and durability. With Enduramax, your lot will have that brand new feel and look at a fraction of the price of a new lot. You and your customers will be safe, and your business will look great. For parking lot repairs to snow removal, go to fixmylots.org. That's fixmylots.org and get a free estimate. Plus, learn about getting 5% off your next job from Pavement Solutions. You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Love
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the Pumpkin Express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream, where we're launching ticket sales for Freedom Summit in October this year. And Amy, I know you're always looking for a side hustle because you've got to save for the kids' college
right,
education.
because you kids are expensive and you cost me money.
So wanted to direct your attention to this. A married mom of 3 makes almost $60,000 a year by hugging total strangers.
Oh, is that the cuddling thing?
Yeah,
where you
we
can
talked
pay?
about this before, the cuddling thing.
But that's a $60,000. That's a great job.
Jessica O'Neill, she's 35 years old. Probably helps. You may be beyond the cuddling age. I don't know.
I could cuddle older gentlemen. Wow.
Yeah.
Or maybe younger gentlemen because it's that mom thing.
Yeah.
I make sure their diapers okay.
Yeah. That or maybe
soon.
like think about like the Rush Street crowd.
Oh yeah.
That's probably your wheelhouse.
Triangle. Yes.
Jessica O'Neill, 35, started cuddling 6 months ago. She makes $1,100 a week.
Oh, sweet.
Now
Sorry.
she does have a background as a massage therapist, so that helps. But you have a background as a kind of a grabby television reporter.
Oh yeah.
Right?
No, snuggling's nice. I mean, does she have to talk to them while she snuggles them? I mean, obviously she
If
has
she wants
to
a tip,
touch
maybe.
them. Wow. She said it's all started when I began giving my clients a hug when they'd come in for a counseling session. And it totally allowed them to drop their guard and open up so much more. I could see their anxiety and tension melt away. Then I could get to the core of their persona and do what I can to heal them.
Yeah, and there's tiered pricing: $60 an hour for strictly cuddles.
Okay.
Hugs in a counseling session is $80 an hour, and then friendship style coffee and cuddle session $110. And I don't know if she has package deals, pun intended, or not. Her husband, Jason, very supportive, completely gets it, loves what she does, and thinks it's really beautiful. He's super affectionate, too, and gives me cuddles at home. Our relationship is what makes me so strong. Boy, it's going to be devastating for her when Jason comes out, I think.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to our host this morning, Tracy Kahn of Joe Cotton Ford. He's going to see if he can get me out of that German sled that I drive and into a roomy, luxurious F-150. We'll see if he's successful at 8:38.
And, honey, you're putting it in the wrong place. We'll explain. But first,
Hello.
let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Partly sunny and 79 degrees. Sweltering heat will continue in the Chicago area today. A heat advisory goes into effect at 11 a.m. 3 are dead after a shooting at a Jacksonville, Florida video game tournament. That number includes the suspect who took his own life. Here's Florida Governor Rick Scott.
But something's got to change. What is causing these young men not to value life? Whether it's their own life or somebody else's life. There's something wrong.
The suspect in that deadly shooting at that Madden 19 video game tournament is identified as 24-year-old David Katz. Senator John McCain will lie in state first at the Arizona Capitol in Phoenix before lying in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. New York Senior Senator Chuck Schumer offered kind words for his fallen friend.
As you go through life, you meet very few truly great men. He was one of them. It's going to take a long time to find another John McCain.
McCain, a former Navy airman and longtime Arizona senator, died Saturday at the age of 81. While Hurricane Lane did not make a direct hit on Hawaii, several feet of rain still fell. Weather system that's now a tropical storm poured more than 4 feet of rain on the state. Authorities continue investigating after 2 men were shot on the Dan Ryan Expressway. State police say the gunfire erupted early this morning. The victims were hospitalized, their conditions not known. Investigators are still trying to determine what caused a fire that killed 8 children during a sleepover in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, and 3 were badly hurt following a fire in Naperville yesterday that broke out in an apartment building near 5th and Ogden Avenues. And a suburban Chicago Fire Department sale could make you a regular in the area's summer parade circuit. The Batavia Fire Department has a 1955 Chevrolet 3800 panel truck for sale. It was the department's first rescue vehicle and has only 23,000 miles on it. And as the Daily Herald reports, runs great. Fire chief says his review of classic automotive websites shows it could fetch $5,000 or more. Chicago sports, Michael Kopech notching his first career win as the White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2. Cubs beat the Reds 9-0. And the news is a service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th. Get 1 kids meal free with each adult entree, dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under, ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. 8:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees more and more evidence of a corrupt media.
Oh, ICE arrested a man who was trying to take his pregnant wife to the hospital to give birth. They found out he's wanted for murder. And as soon as they found out he's a murder suspect, the story, it just vanished. If you want an example of a corrupt news media, here it is.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee. Roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois. The following is a paid political announcement.
We need strong borders to keep America safe. That's why President Trump is fighting to build the wall. But Senator Joe Donnelly's votes would have made us less safe. In Congress, Donnelly claimed he was, quote, 100% opposed to amnesty. But then he changed his position. In the Senate, Donnelly joined liberals like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and voted to give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants, even illegal immigrants who had committed serious crimes, including domestic violence and child abuse. Donnelly told us he was against amnesty, but then he voted for amnesty. Call Senator Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Tell him to fight for full border security funding in S3109, Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Amnesty won't keep America safe. Fully securing our border will. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
It is 8:36, and let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Double-digit delays on the outbound Eden. Slows you up between Montrose and Niles Center. Then again at Dempster, a half hour from Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound Kennedy, 56 in from O'Hare, 40 in from Montrose, 35 in the inbound express lanes. Outbound Kennedy, 44 minutes downtown out to O'Hare with heavy traffic right around the junction through Harlem. Inbound Ike, a tad heavy north of the Tri-State, then Manheim to Harlem with more brake lights on it. Laramie, 57 in from Thorndale. Outbound, a little bit slow from Cicero to Manheim. Northbound 55, the other crash past Lamont's been cleared. Still delays back to Weber, an hour 14 in from 355, 52 in from the Tri-State. Inbound Ryan, a half hour, 95th in at downtown. Resurfacing work along Lakeshore Drive closes 2 lanes and causing heavy delays southbound Lakeshore between Wilson and North Avenue. Northbound plenty busy between Monroe and Wacker. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Dominic, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny, breezy, hot, and very humid today. Unhealthy air for the most part as you cross northern Illinois with a high near 92. Currently 79. Next news coming up at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
If it hadn't been for Joe Cotton Ford, I'd still be driving a beautiful car. Now we go live to Dan and Amy, broadcasting from Joe Cotton Ford.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We are live at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream, where we're launching ticket sales for our 2018 Freedom Summit in Itasca, Amy.
Yes, it's going to be Saturday, October 27th. This year's speakers include former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe, your buddy from Project Veritas, and AM 560's Mike Gallagher. Plus, we'll be there. Dan will be speaking. Joe Walsh will be. And you can join us. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Or you can stop by Joe Cotton Ford, Gary and North Avenue, and Carroll Stream. Enter a chance to win a pair of tickets. Have some coffee from I Have a Bean Coffee Company, and say hello to us.
Yeah, and watch out if you're coming from the east, because notorious speed traps here
on
North Avenue.
Yeah. You would know. Did you get pulled over today?
No, but I saw a cop on the way.
Did you wave?
No, but I noticed things. Yeah, you got to get up pretty
you
early in the morning.
Spidey senses, no,
yeah, you got to be pretty hidden away to ambush this guy, unless you're on the interstate. Breaking news, the U.S. and Mexico reach a preliminary agreement to revise key portions of NAFTA. Trade deal now needs approval from Canada, so maybe some progress on cutting trade deals and creating a lower tariff environment across the globe and spurring economic growth, and perhaps a win on trade, much as the president has received criticism, including from yours truly, on the topic of tariffs. Perhaps a Kudlow-esque win in the offing. Now, I don't know if that's good news or bad news for the Ford Motor Company. But Tracy Kahn.
Didn't know we were going to ask you about the
Tracy
NAFTA
Kahn
agreement,
from Joe Cotton Ford joins us right
trade.
now to see if he wants to break bad on the president or be a
I had no
be
idea
a protectionist, a neo-mercantilist, or be a free market guy and consistent with American values. What's it going to be?
I'm all for the free market.
There you go. All right. See? Tracy's used to us. I mean, Tracy comes to us. We swim together.
Yes.
We snorkel together.
We play golf.
We fished. Well, did we call it fishing? It was just a boat ride, wasn't it?
We took a 4-hour excursion on the high seas.
Did you catch anything? All I saw was a bunch of bait on the line.
I think we caught a cold.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you didn't catch anything?
Not a thing.
This was our, what do we call that? Our freedom trip?
No, Passport to
Passport to
Paradise.
Paradise.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Thanks, Tracy.
Our annual trip, and Tracy and his beautiful wife, Pam, joined us this year.
Yep.
And why do you listen to AM 560?
For you guys. I love you guys.
No, Amy would, it's truly not a loaded question. She would like to know.
No, I really want to.
Because of, and I've told people this for years, that every day that I listen to Dan, I learn a new word.
Yes, there you go.
All right, some of them you can use with your friends.
It's educational.
So Tracy, tell us a little bit about Joe Cotton Ford, one of the crown jewels of DuPage County.
Absolutely. We've been here 44 years. We're third generation now. My son's sitting right over here, and my daughter,
sitting.
2 daughters.
Why don't you tell them to get to work? It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, come on.
And we're a full-service Ford dealership, meaning we have service, parts, and body shop. A lot of dealers don't have a body shop anymore, and we prefer to keep everything here on site. And so it's the values that my father-in-law, Joe Cotton, instilled in us, and so we're going to continue with it.
It is really, truly a family-owned business, and I love how you have the names up of people you've sold cars to?
Yeah, so there's banners all around the showroom that say, I buy all my cars from Joe Cotton Ford. There's over 1,400 names on these banners, and next to their names, they have a number of how many vehicles they've bought. And there's some as high as 100 over on one of these banners over here. But there are, and it's a sense of pride for people when they come in. When they buy another car, they look for their names so that they can change their number.
Yeah, from 3 to 4 for 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about expanding to Joe Cotton Ford and Mercedes, so that I could maybe go up on the wall here?
Yeah, Ford is a little funny about having a
right?
foreign, a little foreign,
edgy.
Yeah, I could see where they'd be jumpy about that.
Yeah.
Well, what's the future of Ford? I mean, I keep hearing that the sedan's going to be going by the wayside. Are you going to keep certain models?
So there will still be a Focus and a Fusion, and then there will be a Mustang. But for the last 3 quarters, 83% of the market has been truck and SUV. So going with that, they're going to concentrate on truck and SUV. So they've created one new SUV for this year called the EcoSport, which is the smallest SUV. And then they have the Ford Bronco coming out next year.
Oh, the Bronco, huh?
Yeah. And then later this year, or possibly early next year, we'll have the Ford Ranger coming back.
Now, do you see a lot of people buying the bigger trucks now so they can more easily transport their goods out of Illinois to the place they're going to live?
That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
That's why trucks sell so well in Illinois.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I would get like an F-150. F-150s.
Those are cool.
I mean, I assume most people realize this, but maybe it's like a luxury pickup truck.
It really is now, and the ride on these are unbelievable. In fact, I'm driving one myself. And but I love it. But more and more with the toys that you accumulate over time. I have a boat, I have snowmobiles, I have a car hauler, and
Boy,
so
look at
it's
this guy.
He's got all the
toys. Being in the car business pays pretty well, apparently. Huh?
Yeah. So it's just necessary.
Oh, so you use your Ford F-150 to tug around all your toys.
Absolutely.
When he needs to dry dock his yacht, Tracy Cohen has to pull it out of Monroe Harbor.
Yeah, well, it's my boat's not that large.
Oh, okay.
So how many people do you employ here, and do people stay here once they get a job here?
It's funny that you ask that question. I have 67 employees. 38 have been here 10 years or more. 22 of them have been here 20 years or more. And there was a fellow from the Daily Herald who wrote an article about us back in 2006 talking about how people come here and then they stay here. He traded that, and he bought it from a salesman that at that time worked for me for about 22, 23 years. He traded that car in 10 years later, and he went to the same salesperson who's now been here 33 years. And so he wrote another article about how people come here and they stay here. And it's all about respect and how you treat people, and we respect and treat our employees well.
Do you guys offer a mileage allowance for people commuting from Indiana to work here?
Why, you need a job?
Well, I'm just, I like to kind of understand my options and, the benefits associated with working different places.
We can work something out, Dan.
Yeah, I'm not much of a salesman, though, because,
really?
I'm sort of a misanthrope. So I don't know if I don't know if I should be a face guy for the customers. What else could I do here?
You can do anything you want.
I took auto shop in high school, so I'd work in the service area.
Perfect.
Amy went to a trade school.
No, we had auto shop, and I can't believe you did. Was that an option at Bennett?
We're not. We're focused on the next generation of intellectual leaders at Bennett. Not that I don't respect the blue collar, the machinists, the auto mechanics. Of course I do. It's just a bit of a different focus.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a Hawkeye trade school.
No, this is high school, but that's all right.
Yeah,
yes.
the high school is more rigorous than
exactly.
that.
How did you find time with that, with all the proms you went to?
Oh, hey!
Somebody listens to the show.
Time management. That's all it was. I didn't have a lunch hour. I ate between classes so that I could do more things. But anyway, back to you.
Hey, Tracy, the one thing that would make this a little bit more hospitable place, I mean, there's a lot of things that would make Illinois, even DuPage County, probably a more hospitable place to do business. But if there was one thing you would tell the associated political class, what would it be?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
I mean, there's so many things to choose from. I understand, but
Yeah. I think the leadership in Illinois stinks.
Yeah.
I have
It's
a-
okay. We
I have a-
talk
I have
about it a lot on
I have
the
a bad.
show.
I have a better word for it, but it stinks. And so, just so everybody is clear, in November, I think we all need to have a write-in governor of Dan Proft.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Big fan.
Well, I think
Huge fan of Dan.
I can feel the groundswell already.
Yeah,
for that
everyone's
to
like,
come to pass.
Well, at least that might send a message.
Yeah, well, no, seriously. But when you talk to customers here that come in, particularly since you've got so many people that are loyalists and come in routinely to pick up the next family car, the car for the kid, whatever, what do they say to you about their, you have good relationships with your customers sort of on a personal level. What do they say to you about what's going on in their lives and their community?
And actually AM 560 has been a great forum for me. It's amazing how many people come in and tell me that I would rather spend my money with a conservative than give my money to a liberal.
Yeah.
And even on the Passport to Paradise trip, it was amazing how many of those people are loyal customers today.
Yeah, this is what I like. I mean, and this is the fun thing about this job in the station. We have so many entrepreneurs. I was talking to somebody about this on the golf course yesterday. So many entrepreneurs, so many owner-operator business owners, and they're not the corporate pansies that have been part of what's ruined the state. They're people that are willing to say, this is what I believe, these are my values, these are values by which I run my company, it's why we're successful, and we think people should be replicating what we're doing rather than hiding from it and trying to mince around what's going on in this state and the policies that have been chosen and the results they've produced, which are, frankly, indisputable and indisputably bad.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I like it. See,
And
we
that's
have
why you're,
outspoken.
yes, exactly. And you're the sponsor of Freedom Summit this year. Are you going to sit down with the former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark?
I would love to. I think that guy is awesome.
Yeah, he'll be there, and also James O'Keefe from Project Veritas.
And Dan and Amy.
Yeah.
Heat big time in Itasca on October 27th. All right, Tracy Kahn.
Thank you, Tracy.
The hot jefe of Joe Cotton Ford here in Carroll Stream, where we are broadcasting live this morning.
Thank you very much.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast heat warning in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. We're going to have temperatures in the mid-90s, and it's going to be very humid out there. So if you have sensitivity issues when it comes to, quality of air, such as asthma, be careful. Tonight, patchy clouds, still warm and humid, a high of 76. And tomorrow, breezy but still humid, a high of 91. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Centaur and check in with Dominic Fortini.
Yet across the Chicago area, outbound Edens, 32 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. The Eden Spur busy in both directions because of road construction. Kennedy in, heavy Foster through Randolph, 56 in from O'Hare, 40 in from the Junction, 35 in the inbound express. Brake lights outbound California through Harlem, 44 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike struggling along at an hour 6 from Thorndale, 42 in from Manheim with delays outbound Central through Manheim, 47 minutes from the post office to Thorndale. Stevenson in, now we've got stop traffic at King Drive because 3 right lanes are blocked because of a car fire. Watch for brake lights to come on at State. Outbound problems LaGrange to County Line, 40 minutes. Lakeshore to 355. Inbound Ryan at 35 minutes in from 95th with tie-ups at 47th. Inbound Bishop Fort a tad lighter, but we've got brake lights at 159th. Southbound Lakeshore busy. Wilson and North. Northbound delays Monroe to Wacker. This is all because of resurfacing issues in the 2 left lanes in both directions. Southbound 355 a bit slow between St. Charles and 22nd. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm with Mel Sauter, who's the president and founder of MVP Kids, a fascinating project that we're thrilled to tell you about here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Mel, can you tell me about yourself, your background, and your involvement with MVP Kids?
Sure. After several great opportunities at corporate Fortune 200 companies, I realized that I'm just an entrepreneur at heart. MVP Kids is my 4th startup related to children's media. It's really the fulfillment of my 25-year personal mission to provide parents, caregivers, and professionals with tools to support them in raising great kids, to inspire character in children based on their unique circumstances and environment, through their personal relationship with each child.
It's a fascinating project. I urge you to learn all about this at mvpkids.com. You'll save 20% with our special Mike G coupon code. My granddaughter Lily is hooked. You got to learn all about this amazing project. That's mvpkids.com, 20% off with our special Mike G coupon code. Go to mvpkids.com, promo code Mike G.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson.
And Joe Walsh from MyPillow.
You're hearing from both of us because we've got two great MyPillow deals to tell you about.
And of course, because I'm the resident expert on the great night's sleep you're going to get with a MyPillow.
Is that why you sleep till noon every day, Joe?
Nice shot. Part of the reason. The other is because I'm not on the radio until the afternoon.
Lucky you. Well, I've got to get up early to do Chicago's Morning Answer, and I'm not sure I would get proper rest without MyPillow.
Hey, and I sleep even better with MyPillow because I added the MyPillow mattress topper to my bed. You got to get one. And when you buy the MyPillow mattress topper and use promo code Joe, you'll score 2 standard MyPillows for free.
For me, I love the MyPillow Go Anywhere pillow. So convenient. I suggest you use the promo code Amy. Buy 1 MyPillow and you'll get a second MyPillow plus 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows free.
Hey, either way, you're going to sleep like you never have before with MyPillow.
But definitely use promo code Amy.
Nah. Promo code Joe is the way better choice.
MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Promo code Joe is way better, way better.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for upstream-ideas.com. It's that time of year again. Politicians on your TV screen and in your mailbox inundating you with promises they don't intend to keep, while under the influence of their misplaced faith in magical words, the kids head back to college to accrue debt they'll finance into their 40s. Comrade Bernie and the Socialists have re-released their siren song of tuition-free college. They'll make college debt disappear, much like Bernie's dutiful wife Jane made an entire college disappear. Of course, that debt will reappear in the form of increased government taking from you to finance schools your children didn't attend and pensions you won't receive. The Socialists are offering a free lunch with you on the menu. Make your own lunch. Not only should you send your kid to a school that promotes free markets, you should apply the fundamental tenet to the financing: work. One way is through income share agreements like Purdue University's Back a Boiler program, where a student's education is paid for up front and paid back through an agreed-upon percentage of his postgraduate income over a defined term. This aligns the interests and responsibilities of both the student and university. Both want the students to get good-paying jobs at companies or in sectors with upward mobility. Let's make financing a college education a teachable moment for the students and the politicians.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-813-1105. 800-813-1105. That's 800-813-1105.
You deserve an expert to help you with your next home mortgage, and we have them at Townstone Financial. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone. I continue to get calls and emails from homeowners whose interest interest rates are above current levels. Please do yourself a favor. Take 1 minute, dial 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com so we can give you some no closing costs refinancing options. No closing costs means no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. Let's pay off some of those high-interest credit cards with a lower rate. And anyone who has an FHA mortgage or one with private mortgage insurance definitely needs to call so we can lower your monthly payments due to the recent increase in home values. Also, if your home is worth less than what you owe, we still have the government HARP program, which will allow you to refinance and save money. Remember, you don't have to restart your home loan at 30 years or 15. We can customize the payback period. The call is free and so is my time. So dial 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee, 6629 and MLS 136639.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians, or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through August 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Come in today and take advantage of first month's payment credit and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. There are those who settle for nothing less. For them, the choice is simple. It's either up to Mercedes-Benz standards, or it isn't. It's flawlessly maintained, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on first month's payment credit and certified pre-owned warranties.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you know who should lie in state? Neil Simon. Neil Simon passed away this weekend. Brighton Beach Memoirs, Biloxi Blues,
The
Odd
Odd
Couple. Aretha Franklin should lie in state. I wish we would, as a nation, honor great artists and creative geniuses more so than politicians.
Yeah, there's a week-long celebration and memorials in Phoenix and then in D.C. For John McCain.
And it should be for Neil Simon and Aretha
Well,
Franklin.
somebody asked me if Neil, they're like, we're going to play Sweet Caroline. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, Neil Diamond died. I'm like, no, Neil Simon died, the playwright, not Neil Diamond.
And this is why Neil Simon should
so people can learn
should lie
about
in
him.
state. Yes, exactly. So they culturally and artistically illiterate can be educated.
Don't forget to sign up or buy your tickets from Freedom Summit Chicago. It's happening October 27th at the Chicago